with that. So I don't know what's really going on there, but we'll see. We'll see what the president rolls out, and I'm curious to know. And yeah, throw it up in the chat. I want to know what you guys think here as I pull up the chat for myself. I was going to say for you guys, of course, as well. But yeah, no, some solid, absolutely nothing that happened during the midday in terms of price action when it came to the tickers I was looking at. Intel pretty much sideways here. Market did make a fresh low, so that's a little exciting. More selling kind of stepping in. We were talking about during the morning session, like, okay, well, if we're looking for continuation, we want to see where sellers potentially come back in on the day. Now, not really coming in across the board, but we were talking about one ticker that was distinctly different in the morning.
Ooh.
And that was Microsoft. Microsoft was the only one that was pushing its highs, pre-market highs, prior day consolidation highs, and it made a high of 385.99 all the way up. And take a look at that. The market definitely comes in. What is that? This red candle here on the Nasdaq is coming in at 10:45, so that means about 11:45 our time. And you can see right here, when Softy starts to break down and get weaker on its VWAP, that confluences heavily with when the market kind of made that lower high, could not break through that 19.5, and then flushes down to make a fresh low, testing or printing that 19 to 200 pretty clean there for a bit of a pullback up. So the question now becomes, do sellers step back in a little bit lower? We have been getting lower lows and lower highs pretty much all day, Sean. So.
Yeah, agreed. Like over there. We were just been back and forth. So I was a little late there. We got the tire. We settled for some Pirellis, so we're gonna put those on and get those going. So
tired business really tiring you out. Huh?
That's what I said to Randy. This is tiring. And no. You know what?
But you got to sort it out. You got to sort it out.
Yeah, you could always get.
It's all aligned.
You could always. Right? It's all aligned. That's,
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good one. It's all aligned. No, but the thing is like, I like looking around. Like, so when I have something to do, like I like looking around to see like what's available, what are the better deals, what can get done. So I just, you know, at the end of the day, you save $100. It's not the end of the world, it does, but it's kind of like fun to do. So we wind up doing that. I got a guy local, so that's really nice. To have. Thing is, like, I went to Costco. Their prices and their warranties and guarantees, like you get lifetime, like wheel alignment, tire repair, like all this crazy stuff. But the thing is that it would take a couple of days. I can't even open this stupid coffee. Take a couple of days to get those tires in, and I don't got that much time. But all right, hold on a second.
Nice. How's that?
Brought to you by coffee.
How's the Timmy's taste?
It's all right. It's all right. You know, you might notice this is a large one because I use my free one.
Let's go.
When you're gonna use a free one, you must get the bigger one.
Yep.
All right. Oh, here's me making some notes about some tires, by the way, as well.
Nice.
There we go.
Some of the best ideas in the world.
Yes.
Came off
hence the sticky note. Hence the sticky note coming through. But yeah, no, we were last long here on our last trade is Amazon. Amazon's going to be my #1 P&L name today. And I was talking here with Obi for a little bit, and it was just about, you know, where to take most risk and where you can put stop orders that will allow you to take more shares and things like that. We did real good, man. Like, we were long here off 195. Eventually, when it broke right there, we got out. It goes down to 193, and then Randy and I went to get a coffee, talk tires, this and that. And we discussed some new segments. We're going to have some fun ideas coming up, hopefully in the next little bit as well. But yeah, Amazon, I like the stock today. Only up 0.9, but as opposed to the market, which is just getting back to flat, I like the stock. I like where it's moving right now. 82,000. I think there's a huge... I agree with a lot of people in the chat there. There could be a big bounce in coming here. The TQs just got up to VWAP, not a bad spot to short it. But I might be looking the other way here into the afternoon. Remember, we have CPI coming tomorrow. That's going to be that number. I just don't know if people want to be short CPI. There's so much negativity in the market right now. If that number comes either as expected or a little bit cooler, then I think the market really rallies and we get back a lot. Not a lot, but we'll at least get something back in the market. So that's sort of my rhetoric here into the afternoon, seeing if that will wind up playing out as being true. So right now on the TQs, I'm almost debating going long right now against this level right here, 59. So we're getting pretty close to that. That's the 200 period moving average. I'd rather it fall back in, but I think that's going to be my next trade, going long the futures. So as we get ready for Sharif, let me know in my ear. I think he's ready. We'll throw it over there. But okay, so that's going to be my play. We're going to think about going long the futures right here. against 59, more like this like 58.60 level here, this kind of bottom. We'll see about going long against that level. So, all right, the Midday, again, a fantastic show, and a segment that they have is what to ask us. Yep. So right now we're going to go, it's called The Rundown. It's my favorite bumper, and it's with my favorite guy over there, so let's run it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys locked and loaded, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join us during the midday show on how to trade and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to be a subscriber in order to engage with us in the chat to vote. So make sure liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at the triple Qs, guys. Well, we're still putting those lower highs, but we're definitely off the lows. Down still about 1/4% on the NQ, faring the best here. The Russell and the NQ only down about 1/4 and 1/5 respectively. The ES down 0.8, really getting hit hard, with the Dow the worst off, almost down 1 1/5. The Dow Jones really being kept down by Apple today. Big move down for Apple. Here's Alibaba, one of the few groups in the overall market that's actually green on the day. Chinese ADRs, they're getting a nice big bump up there as the Chinese stimulus continues to come in. And this article here from Benzinga says the smart money is betting big on Alibaba options with a decided advantage to the bulls over here. 56% of traders were bullish, only 31% showed bearish tendencies, guys. So Alibaba off the highs, but a good look.
Alibaba, I mean, first of all, look at this, man. We're already 30 handles in on the futures right there. So shout out to all of us trading on this one. Let's take a piece out. Bang, right there. As quick as, here's a line from Sharif, as quick as you like. Right there. Long at 59.15s. We just put that spot on right before we threw it to Sharif. And there it goes all the way to the upside. That is a banger. Obi?
Yes, sir.
Alibaba.
Baba.
You have anything important to say about Alibaba?
I mean, we were talking about this one
I mean, it doesn't have to be
a
important.
little bit in the morning. I mean, I wasn't really watching it. Pretty much sideways action after we gapped up, but then again, you got to remember that it wasn't just Baba that gapped up. It was the whole. It was pretty much the whole Hang Seng kind of trending up. We saw XPEV have a pretty solid move off of the open. So not the only ticker that was moving around, but yeah, let's see why people are interested to ask us about this ticker. Maybe it's been doing something on the higher time frame. Again, we know that. Not that indicator. We know that Chinese tickers has been the Chinese market has been trending up since about 2024. It would seem. The kind of we talked about that lick grab that kind of happened, and a pretty strong uptrend here as well. Strong pullbacks on the way there as well. But yeah, pushing into this 140. But you can see since about the middle of February, we've been in this consolidation range. 146s to 126s, a couple tests on both sides. So let's see where Baba goes from here. If the Hang Seng continues to trend up past those stimulus bid highs from earlier on last year, I think this could be poised for that 150 test. But what do I know?
You know a lot, man, and I told you about that earlier. Stop discounting yourself, you know.
You can call me Jon Snow because I know nothing.
Okay, I like that one there, and we will not. I wasn't. That's Game of Thrones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least I know the reference. Okay, so look, we talked about stimulus coming through. I heard the guys in the Midday talking about it. We talked about it at 8:30. We talked about it now. So yeah, I think the Chinese name's completely different. I mean, the U.S. market seems to be the only major market that's crashing right now. Europe is up. Actually, I don't know about today, but over the last little while, Europe was up 13% year to date, and that's just general Europe. I mean, different markets are different. Japan up, Hang Seng obviously up as we continue to look at some of these Chinese names. So, look, man, Chinese doing it better, doing it cheaper, doing it, still with NVIDIA chips, but it's Alibaba leading the way. There's been a big name. We know Charlie Munger's been all over I know he's passed away, but it was one of the names that he was last talking about, and that's what kind of got me excited, to be honest with you, in it. But it's still pretty choppy on the daily. I would leave this thing alone, man, until you either make a new high through 145. But right now you're literally in the middle at 137, bottom of 130, top of 145. That looks like 137 to me. So that's where we are right here. If you're looking at a daily chart, I would say look out below rather than take the top off. You're up 4%. If anything were to go wrong, I think that we could crash through here. And then you have a gap fill down to 133. I'm very, very careful about that one. We are now 60 handles in the money. We just put this on, Obi. So look at this futures trade. We talked about it. I said that this would be what we talk about going into the end of the day with the CPI. It looks like it's working out so far. So, all right, 82,000. It's MicroStrategy time.
Up 6% after issuing a filing yesterday for $21 billion in preferred stock. You guessed it, to fund more Bitcoin. That is a older headline from yesterday, but still one that will have reverberations for the stock into the coming days, guys. Up 6.17.
I can't believe I called it MicroStrategy, man. This strategy ain't no micro anymore. We have that official name change. Yeah. This is now an official strategy, you know. And the strategy is to use your money to buy more Bitcoin for Michael Saylor, so when it rips up, then he can get all the credit in the world for being a Bitcoin hodler. It's very easy to hodl Bitcoin when it's not your money, and I'm sure he's taken enough out that no matter what happens to Bitcoin, this man will be fine. Will we be fine is the other question. So up 6%. Of course, it's up 6%. Yesterday, we went down with a low net number in Bitcoin. We saw 76, 77 overnight. Nice to see a little bit of a bounce. I have no idea what this little drop was all about, but at the end of the day, we always talk about looking at past days. I know Sharif has talked about closing prices obviously being pretty important. That's well documented. So is support and resistance. So yesterday's bottom there of 230 seems to be playing again today, 232 to be exact. And there we go back up to the upside. Whether or not you like the strategy or not, this is a levered Bitcoin ETF. And if it continues to go higher, great. It makes a lot of sense. You could overlay, I mean, not with that split happening there. Unfortunately, our charts are what it is. You can overlay Bitcoin. It's going to look very, very similar to this. So I would say, hey, man, if you like it, options are available in this name. I like MSTR here. I like Bitcoin at these levels. I almost feel like it's been showing good down here. Holding 80, I'll take it. You know, yeah. Pirellis, yeah, not bad.
Hey,
so,
nice.
Well, the guy didn't take a deposit or anything. He's just saying he's gonna call the wife. He's gonna go there and gonna get those Pirellis. Yeah, a pretty good tire. Yeah, good. Okay, Randy giving the thumbs up to that. All right, thanks, Randy. I was messaging him, letting him know that was the final decision because we were just talking about it. The funny thing is about all that stuff, you go crazy over these things. I think Sharif is kind of the same way, like looking for the best deals out there, looking for the best this, and it's fun to do that. Like if I'm looking for a new car, I'm looking at this deal, like I'm looking everywhere to figure out and part of that is fun. At the end of the day, if you save a little bit of money, I don't think I did, but I had a fun time doing it and took up way too much time in my mind. But MSTR, look, I like the stock. I'm pretty happy with how Bitcoin's holding these levels. We've been going back and forth about that. If the market, the Nasdaq's at the 200 period moving average, so is Bitcoin. So if you do have a bullish attitude moving forward and maybe think we've seen some lows, I think you can stamp MSTR as a buy right here.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of just watching this, looking back at the chart. I see this aggressive move that we did kind of top out on MSTR, and I was just like, ChatGPT, was there any catalyst on that day? And I think that might have been that gap up day that was a little bit playbooked there last year. But we've been pretty much downtrending since that high has been put in. And yeah, I think if I just say from here, from 116s to 550s, pretty decent pullback. Yeah, about 57% pullback off of those highs there on MSTR. So yeah, maybe a little bit more room to go if we're looking for some of these prior resistances to turn into support. But yeah, pretty much a bit of a chop here, and been downtrending as well. Again, with Bitcoin, there goes Intel. All right, so with Bitcoin kind of pulling back from its highs as well, obviously a company that deals solely in holding the Bitcoin, definitely going to be experiencing some of those fluctuations as well. But on the day today, breaking out of opening range highs and midday highs as well. A bit of a double top action, just shy of that 250. Currently trading at 254, so a little bit of a breakout. Let's see if we can get to yesterday's midday high there at that 260, just about 5 more points away. So strong closing, or not really closing, but trending strong into the close is MSTR right now.
Yeah, so just real quickly, off the 200 period, it is the futures. We're now 100 handles in the money as it continues, 90 handles. I just want to ask this, we got a super chat and then we'll throw back to Sharif. Stanley Game says, what do you do if you see your son trading meme coins? I just said, congratulate him. I mean, what's wrong with trading meme coins? I mean, I think it's a good idea. You got to get in there, no regulation. I think it's fine. I think you want to trade meme coins. I think it's fine. I mean, I think trading anything is fine. I just think you got to do whatever you do, but it depends how old your son is, first of all. Like if you're talking about a 40-year-old guy in the basement trading meme coins, maybe I'm a little bit more worried about that. But if you're just chilling out and your son's getting nude into the game, I think it's fine. I think we all go to school. We all pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go to school and learn questionably nothing. Now, I mean, I would just say,
you learn how to learn, basically.
Huh?
You learn how to learn in school.
Is that what you do?
That's
Okay,
the
good.
biggest
Well,
thing
maybe
I've
I should
learned.
go back. But then the thing is that, at the end of the day, a $500, $1,000, something like that to learn how to trade a little bit, learn the risk and rewards, learn disappointment, honestly, learn those emotions of trading, I think it's completely fine. So I say stamp that, man. I
like that.
I would love it if my son came to me and said he wanted to look at some coins and look to trade it. I mean, it's a good educational opportunity, and it's a good time to learn and to get into the game. Yeah. I think, and then graduate up to stocks. I mean, I like it. So for me, you may be asking the wrong guy as a host of a trading show, but honestly, man, I talk about stocks with my kids all the time, and it's a wealth generation machine, right? So that's why we talk about it. And I think the earlier you get into investing, our schools are failing at teaching children finance, proper finance, personal finance, and especially investing. So I am 100% down with getting our kids some real life education as long as it doesn't cost that much. I mean, hell, I spend $1,000 on these kids weekly, it seems like, and that's not even a lie. So, that is what it is. So I think it's well worth it. So congratulations, Stanley Game. You got a good one over there. So, all right, over to Sharif.
Breaking news out of Europe, guys. It looks like America and Ukraine have agreed on a 30-day ceasefire that will precipitate the U.S. to start sharing intel with Ukraine as well as refinancing them for the war effort there. Here's a look at Apple. Apple decidedly down on the day, 3.1% in the negative, and it's off the lows as well, guys. It's trading overall lower with the market, but there was this headline, actually a positive catalyst. iPhones after iOS 19 will feature a very different look that is expected to be launched at WWDC in June, guys.
All right, well, Worldwide Developer Conference is like, what would developers do? You mentioned a joke about it earlier. It's like Apple's going to release one new feature, maybe two.
Yeah, maybe, exactly.
And then we expect it to bump up huge on that.
The people go wild.
Yeah, so, by the way, I see a lot of people agreeing. And I realize trading meme coins, I'm just talking about getting in there and trading and whether or not you're trading the Trump coin or not. I don't know if that's advised, but all right, back to Apple. So look, I had Apple written down here, and we can't always talk about the sticky note and not focus on it especially when it has the wrong way. We wrote down long. Now Apple's going to be my P&L number 2. It's slightly behind Amazon. It's a good day. We actually hit our 1-day goal with just Apple alone, and that ended at 956. So just trading it early, it was fantastic, and it was our exact level. It bounced off 224. Our best trade was actually off 223. We got it back up into 225, 226. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit here to show you. There it was. We averaged it in. It was falling back down. The good thing about it is early we found this wick down there at 223. So we took the long. We took it to the upside. We took it again until it eventually broke that bid. So right into there. Obi talked about it yesterday with Intel breaking the $20 bid, or that there was a $20 bid and then breaking it early in the pre-market. For Apple, as soon as we broke that pre-market bottom, we got out of it. So it's 1 day worth of risk for me. We made it, bang. So if you were trying to graduate or you're looking to make a certain amount of money, we made that on Apple right there, one day, and then we left it alone as it continued to fall in the rest of the day. The funny thing is Apple had its worst day yesterday since 2022, and that was down 5.08%. I mean, you're down 3% right now. That's 8% in 2 days. That's pretty juicy for Apple. I know it's a big part of a lot of people's portfolios, and it's just like the rest, man. There's nothing really right now that you can do about it. Apple is one of the greatest companies of all time. They have the largest consumer satisfaction rating of all time. Apple just continues to impress, but right now it's downside, man. And I don't know what they're going to do to change this thing around, foldable phone or not. Google Pixel has a foldable. There's foldable Android phones out there. Yeah. I don't know if that's changing the. I mean, I don't know. What I'm getting at is I don't think Apple releasing a foldable phone is like anything that's really going to turn.
It's not going to take it back to all-time highs.
Yeah, it's not going to turn. But I don't know what's going to take any of these stocks back to all-time highs. Yeah. That's the thing. It just has to be good deliveries, and then hopefully a little bit of an improvement on. We talked about how bad Siri is, so hopefully they can get that all sorted out. At the end of the day, right? Like Gemini is really great. Look at Google's stock. Yeah. You know, like a lot of these things, look at Grok, look at all that, well, Twitter's not public, but if it was, right? Like all of these stocks continue to get beat up regardless of what's under the hood. And I think you just got to sort of hold out on this for Apple. I like the stock, and I think this is worth nibbling at these levels, down 8% in 2 days. I mean, the market's averaged 13% over the last 23 years. Yeah. So 8%, I think you take a nibble here.
No, I think that's definitely fair there. And another thing about Apple is you're 100% right there. It's the only one that's really been a lot more muted in the selling that it's had, right? We take a look at some of these other names that are a lot more volatile and maybe, move around a lot more. They've pulled back up to 30%, some of them even 50%. We just saw MSTR down 60%. Apple's down about 16% off of its highs at 260s, right? So it's like, all right, so you know what? Even though if you've been with us here pretty much every day, you'll see that a lot of the days, a lot of the other Mag 7s have been selling off, but Apple pretty much holds its own and kind of just is not as aggressive in the volatility relative to the other names. And that speaks to people really believing in the name and kind of, holding on to it a little bit as well. But in terms of today, definitely sellers on board. You can see very clear and clean trend. I was actually looking at Apple on the 15-minute? Oh boy, yeah, 15-minute chart earlier, and I was like, okay, this is some consistent selling that came in. You can see yesterday some strong volume that came in, aggressive selling. So this was definitely distinctly different for Apple. I think it's not very often that Apple will drop down about 4.5% within the first hour and a half of the trading day, but we make a base. We make a little bit of a base just below that 225 on top of 224s. Coming in on the day today, we attempt to push up a little bit higher, but then just using that prior day support as a resistance, then confluencing it with that VWAP. You can see sellers kind of coming in and around that VWAP area for that extension away from VWAP going into about 1 p.m. But a bit of a reversion here. This is what I was looking at on the 15-minute chart. You can see that it was pretty clean, relatively clean. You just kind of, point A to point B right there. Pretty clean for majority of the day, and we finally kind of broke that trend a little bit around 145. Now we're catching a bit back up into VWAP. Now the question becomes, going into the last hour and a half of the day, do sellers step back in at VWAP? If we saw sellers there below prior day low, and then at VWAP off of the open, at VWAP during the midday, now going into the end of the day, are sellers going to stay dominant at that VWAP? This aggressive bidding, I don't know, but let's see. I'm going to be watching to see if those sellers step back in. But you got to keep an eye on the NASDAQ as well. You can see the NASDAQ also attempting to push towards its day highs, almost about 50 points away from there, trading 19,550s with a high just above 19,600. So let's see if sellers step back in. But absolutely beautiful price action on Apple over the past few days.
If you're just joining us, guys, it looks like there is an agreement right now between the U.S. and Ukraine for an immediate 30-day ceasefire, which will allow Ukraine to start receiving intelligence as well as aid again from the U.S. Likely the reason these markets are moving up. So good news coming there after Marco Rubio and the National Security Advisor did meet with the Ukrainian delegation in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. So good luck there. Tesla up 5%, continuing to put in higher lows. No specific catalyst on it today, but it was shellacked yesterday. So a nice little rebound. Donald Trump saying that he's going to buy a new Tesla today. And Carolyn Levitt ended her White House press conference by saying, look out for Donald Trump in a Tesla later on today. Question is, which one, guys?
Good trade.
I'm hearing the same thing. So good update there, Sharif. Thanks for that. I'm hearing that in my ear right now about a possible ceasefire deal. So we'll look over that. But at the end of the day, boom. I mean, this futures trade just went right into 60.50. I'm going to get that out if we get up there, and then we can just regroup it because that was a good trade. 60.35 we could take 130 handles here just for fun, then let's just do that. I mean, this is a good trade there. So we're going to do that again if it just comes back up, and then we'll regroup. And if it continues to go higher, fine. I mean, this is what I'm learning about the trade. You know, we did have some crazy news hitting in the last couple of days, obviously, so the futures can turn on a dime. All right, we got a super chat in there. I know, you know, Sharif and Randy been looking to test drive a few of these different models right there, but here we go. Has anyone on the show tried the Tesla version 13 FSD? I don't, you were in full self-drive, but that was a couple months ago. Yeah, so that was number 12. So Sharif's been in 12.
I've seen some videos of the latest updates to the FSD.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's doing some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, okay. So we heard the same there, Paul, as you. And that's why I said it hit up Chef Joe. The guy just got a Cybertruck and was all about how great that was. If you ever see Chef Joe in there, I know he's a big guy for all that. So definitely. And again, it's up to your own person. Like, if you're driving it around, it's great because it just upgrades itself, right? It's not an extra fee. Is it there, Sharif? You can go from 12 to 13? Yeah, so great stuff. Yeah. Look, we always thought, I don't think anybody sitting around here or anybody at home really thinks Tesla's a bad product. I mean, come on, the Model Y is the #1 selling vehicle, and it's not like it's super cheap, right? I mean, it is it's a higher quality vehicle. We like the Model Ys around here. I see a lot of them around Toronto. I'm sure you guys see them, a lot of them around your city. It's just Tesla and its head honcho there has just lost a little bit of their way. We saw that. I did that research. There we go. Bang. We got that fill right there on the TQQs. So that was a good trade. We'll talk about that after. All right. At the end of the day, we saw this, I think it was back, we did this math before, I think it was back into here of 2023 or so when he was looking to buy X. We had quite the pull down on that. I think it was with Neil, we looked it up and when it was, or maybe it was even with you or Joe, but we, once the leader of any company sort of gets sidetracked a little bit and we know about it, this is what happens. He tweeted out yesterday, don't worry, Tesla will be fine. Obviously, that's great to hear from its leader. We're talking about Elon Musk, of course. But at the end of the day, it's been really hit, man. It's down 50% from the bottom. And we could say, I thought right here was going to be support. Now you're looking and trying to figure out, is 217, is 220 a good level to buy? I would say if you like the stock at 400, you're probably liking it a lot at 230. I'm not sure what's changed other than the fact that there's a lot of people now that will refuse, honestly, like, it's crazy to think this way, and I don't think this way, but like I was having a beer at one of the coaches' houses for baseball. We're thinking about, we're getting the lineup right. We're getting the lineup, and we're talking about the next year, and we're just talking about cars, and he's like, yeah, isn't it weird now that if you buy a Tesla, like you're gonna get like those, I don't want to use the words, but, people calling him a certain kind of way there, Germany and this and that, right? And it's like we've seen all that vandalism. So I just think that that's going to take a minute to regroup from, right? We saw Disney when they were having their issues as well, when people didn't like, some of their policies. We saw Disney get hit for a while. So I think on Tesla, you just kind of got to let the smoke settle. I would love to hear him kicked off a Doge and then just back into here, not because of the job that they're doing, but just because as a shareholder, part of the reason you're investing in Tesla is because of Elon Musk. Yeah. And if people feel that he's not committed to the company, then this is what's going to happen. Yeah. So regardless of your political take or not, you'd always like to have such an amazing gentleman, honestly, when you think about what he's developing, Starlink and Tesla and all of this, the power sources and all that, you'd like to have him at the helm. And right now, I'm not sure that he is. So
no, of course. I think he, again, being a little distracted, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta believe. And I think one thing he is committed to is excellence. So I think we can kind of bet on that. But Tesla itself on the day today, a little bit of bit of a sideways chop here. And funny enough, we were talking about all those lines and all
the whole again.
So here, I'll go to the higher time frame. Okay, never mind.
Didn't work.
I typed 3 hours into my order book. And it's like, it's telling me that there's no stock named 3H. 1 second. So yeah, so 3 hours right here. So let's go to a higher time frame again. We kind of recapped this a bunch of times.
A 3-hour chart, interesting.
Yeah, I like 3-hour charts.
You do? Okay.
So right here. So a little bit of technicals going on there, right? Chart? Now here's the thing, Sean. There are. Here's the thing. I don't have.
Oh well, that's why you like a 3-hour chart. Look how clear that is.
Yeah, that's so obvious, right? Okay, so funny enough, there's not many horizontal lines here, and this is just again just just random. But take a look at this. Go back down to the shorter time frame, Sean, and maybe some of these lines meant something, because when I throw those right back on, look at where this range has pretty much tested in between on the day, right here. A little bit of significant support, a little bit of significant resistance, and we've just been pretty much shopping the range in between these two prices here. Triple twos, I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. I was like, oh, I have that as a little bit of an interesting level. The fact that we came back into that. But again, we're just kind of consolidating sideways in and around VWAP with a bit of orbit. So I don't know if you want to range trade this. Again, you'd probably have to have some of these levels defined from before. But we've been pretty much trading a little bit tighter going into the end of the day here. But if you took trend breaks there, I think that there were good opportunities here just for quick scalps on Tesla for sure. And the other thing is I was talking about this morning for the continuation. I was like in my daily plan, I was like, if I want to continue the short on Tesla today, I want to see it trade below that 220, which was yesterday's consolidation end of day or low a day as well, and we basically lick grab that. We false break that price, bids come right back in, and you break the downtrend that we've had from opening range high. I think that's a strong reason to buy. Sure, it doesn't take you all the way up to day highs, but it gives you a decent probability for a reversion to VWAP, in my opinion. But when you lick grab something like that, I think it's definitely worth taking a look at. But I wasn't necessarily involved as I was looking at other things. But Tesla definitely giving us opportunities on its way down. So let's see.
No main headline today on Google, but there was this little tidbit here. Waymo now offering 24/7 ride-hailing service in Silicon Valley. That's going to include places like Mountain View, Palo Alto, Los Altos, and parts of Sunnyvale. We know that one was a good driver for them late last year, guys. So nice little headline today from Waymo, but still down 1 1/4.
Oh boy. Yeah. So there's the out on the TQs. We didn't quite show it, and I'm just tweeting it out right now. Out at past highs, right there. I mean, we talked about getting out at $60.31 for some reason. So we got hit there, out, and bang. So thanks, Sharif. All right, so here we go. Google. Look, I honestly, like, I told you this was my highest, most held stock or most invested name. And it is, and it's been an absolute shit show. Straight to the downside right now. Like many of these names, we cracked the 200 period right there. We tried to get back above it, and now it's back to the downside. So I throw my hands up in the air and I wave them like I don't care, but I really do care. And the thing is like, are these stop zones? Are we going to look back in 6 months and be like, geez, that was a bottom? And just like we're looking back right now and saying that was a top. So I like the names. The PE now is 17 on Google. Like, I don't think you can go wrong down here. We like Waymo. Waymo's like 1% of their revenue. Like, it's not even a drop in the bucket. I feel like they could spin that off. And I almost want them to spin that off. I mean, let's spin off YouTube. Let's just get this all rocking and rolling. I like Google. I like the stock. It is a big part of my portfolio. I'm not sure it's the largest percentage weighting now, but at the end of the day, I'm the boss. Oh, YouTube is my boss? No, incorrect. But okay, so at the end of, I could start doing this on Twitch and then we'll get 500,000 subscribers probably, or not. But there it is down there. So we like YouTube. I like Google. Down 1% is a little shitty, but at the end of the day, just kind of following the market. I think we get back upside now, up 0.2%. Maybe there's a relief rally coming in Google. Look, it was up, like, I don't know what's going on. We had that Chrome discussion. It was up 4 days in a row heading into this move. And in what's erased in 1 day took 4 days to go. So yeah, obviously we're disappointed here with what's been happening on Google. Not happy times for that stock at all. Yep. I think it's a buy.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about an interesting price level on Google yesterday, Sean, and that was that 166, 164. We're still kind of trading still within that area here, but I did want to point it out once again. Again, we'll go back to the 3-hour chart and take a look at a higher time frame. This trend has been holding. We might even need a higher time frame chart. Sean. So
Definitely go to 3 hours, no matter what.
3 hours, yes. Okay, so cool. So this trend right here, that's the one. Forget about all these. These are ones I put in intraday, and I don't really take them off. I need to do a little bit better with that. But look, this trend that we've been holding since March of 2023, so about a 2-year trend that we've been holding on to, was tested yesterday, so prior day there, and take a look at this. Right now, as of right now, we're kind of doing a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of a chip chop underneath this prior trend support. So I don't know. I don't know how strongly I want to weigh this this trend, but it is a trend that's been holding relatively well for the past 2 years, and today or this week is the first time we're seeing some bit of a weakness, again, along with the rest of the market. So maybe that's an indicator as well. I even mentioned yesterday that I don't know, but I definitely want to keep this trend on Google in mind when it comes to even using it as an indicator for the rest of the market as well, right? So it's like, all right, cool. So we're coming into some significant areas. Do I see it respecting? Does the bid come back in? Well, clearly the sellers have been dominant over the past couple of days. I'm going to continue watching this level on Google as the week continues, as the month continues. If we cannot reclaim, because you got to remember, even if it's trend support and resistance, things could still false break. A trend support and a trend resistance could still false break. We can drop down, break the trend, consolidate a little bit lower, and then reclaim as if nothing happened, and then the bid catches back on, right? So it's like, I think for myself, I think it's important for me to just know that this is here and continue to watch it to see what price does in and around this area going forward. So that's my take on Google. As of the intraday today, similar story to Apple here, kind of selling, coming in at similar places where it did yesterday. You can see a little bit of a double top from the midday to the end of day, coming in at that 166 level off the open. Guess what? Same kind of area where sellers step right back in and then now trend off of VWAP. So again, back to VWAP, like a few of these other names. Oh boy, Apple actually kind of sold off of that VWAP like we were talking about earlier. So maybe Google's next to follow. I'll be watching some of these Mag 7s going into the last hour and a half of the day. Let's see if 220 holds on Apple. I did like the short at 221, but didn't really get involved. I did pull it up here on my chart. As you can see, I was watching KSS pretty much all day, and KSS was probably one of the top ideas for me in terms of my playbook all day because it worked out a lot better than I expected it to. So let's take a quick look at KSS while we let Apple do its thing here. So KSS earnings report. We talked about this being at levels and prices it has not seen since 1996. So a little bit of a sell-off, a little bit of a breakdown happening on a larger time frame. Yes, look at this. Right off of the open, we come in, we attempt to push a little bit higher, but we fail some of those highs and make lower highs, trending cleanly for a push. Let's see. You know what? Realistically, I'm probably not getting in until a little bit later where I have a little bit more confirmation, but we're 15% down from this lower high that we made on top of VWAP around 10 o'clock. Now, I was watching this and I was like, oh boy, that's about 13, 14, maybe even 20 pennies worth of risk I'd be willing to take on a $10 ticker, and I was a little aversive because of that. But I think looking back at it, kind of and being like, all right, realistically, if I did want to get involved on the idea, which places were there that I could have risked pretty much minimally and look for the trade to work in my favor almost right away, risking probably nothing too crazy. I think there are a couple of points that kind of stand out. Opening range lows, this kind of session, this 948 low. So that would be the first or the second 15-minute candle low, or even this pre-market reaction low right here at 980. Once we break that 980, we basically only bid back up to 982. So giving you a little bit of room there. But again, this trade worked out really, really well. And another thing was throwing that anchored VWAP on here, kind of very similar to that VWAP. So a little bit of confluence happening there as well. So strong move on Coles today. And again, let's just go back to the weekly and take a look at where these prices really are coming from here. You can see straight up quadunk to the downside here, strong selling. And these prices, we go all the way back, Sean, and we haven't seen these prices since 1996. Let me even if I adjust the chart. Okay, so you know what? I should have adjusted the chart a little bit. So chart adjusted, I stand corrected. We have seen these prices in 2020. So we're actually testing what do you call COVID lows. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm blanking it out because I'm like, how could I have not seen that? I'm like B-sodding a little bit here. So I'm like, just like, okay, well, that low is definitely coming in, maybe a little significant. That low is 839 here. Current day low sitting at 875. So it didn't quite get that low just yet, but maybe some significant levels incoming on coals in the coming days as of right now. But yeah, I can't believe I missed that. I do got to adjust the chart and make sure I'm kind of, you know, calculating properly what the actual all-time lows were. But yeah, coals, solid opportunity. Did not really get involved, but you know, where's the next trade? That's what I'm looking for, Sean. And the next trade seems like it might be on Apple, but again, I'll take a breather. We've sold off pretty aggressively for majority of the day, and the bid is finally coming back in. And we kind of talked about this morning. Sellers are kind of stepping in a little bit every day, some days more aggressive than others. But today, sellers were in for majority of the morning and the midday. Buyers are finally coming in at the end of the day. So I don't know if I want to short this action right now.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm. Like, we almost got in. We were waiting for the TQs to come back into VWAP, waiting for the market to come back. That did not happen. I want to go long for sure. Like, I'm debating breaking this 98. Well, if it breaks 98 there on AMD is a good trade. I really wanted to go long, honestly, NVIDIA, but it's like it's at the high of the day. And I just wonder, breakouts really haven't been that great, but what about a break of 111 and then just using 110 as our out? I mean, that could be definitely something there with the 50-period moving average. I would much rather have a pullback into that level right now. I feel like I want to be long, man. Bitcoin's starting to run upside as well. Let's have a quick look at IBIT. Like, I'm happy getting out of that TQs because it did pull back and it did give us an opportunity, but now it's even higher right now as the futures are we're at days high, right? No, not from the open, right? So we're getting close. We're getting close to wow, okay, we're starting to tick higher right now as well. That's too bad about Amazon because Amazon was an absolute monster today and we had that. Why did it do that? Why did you slap all the way down there at 195, 194? Now you come up into that level again. How could she slap? 198.
How could she slap?
I mean, 198, 196. Yeah, it's like, so what I'm dealing with now is risk management, right? And that is like trying to make sure that we can find an in where we also have an out. And it's just like, is there a name that you guys maybe is setting up that you want me to have a look at? Uber to me looks like a short. Uber's underneath VWAP, and I want to go long. I already told you, I think tomorrow's number is going to be pretty good. I think the market rallies tomorrow a bit. It's already doing it right now. The Nasdaq was down 1.3% or something at the lows. Now you're up 0.6, so a complete turnaround, absolutely. Yeah. This is what VWAP looks like right there. I mean, we're underneath it on Uber, so to me, it still looks like a short, but again, trying to get relative strength. Maybe it does bust through. It's down 2%, right? If you think Uber's going to go, it has a lot of room back up to the upside. All right, so that's interesting right there because on the futures, we do get that little tall wick. Did that come with any volume on the Qs? No, so we just wicked that top again. That could give us that short. We've been playing short, so this is what I'm stuck between. I like the short into the afternoon every day so far. It's been huge. By the way, what's up with your fruit salad? You're not enjoying that fruit salad?
Oh, I should be, yeah.
Show the people.
Yeah.
You showed this fruit salad at 8:45.
What has changed? What is
absolutely nothing? I think you maybe had 3 strawberries. Are you a raspberry or strawberry guy?
Strawberry.
Me too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think raspberry's a little overrated. Overrated. Raspberries are good on desserts. Cheesecake raspberry.
Oh yeah.
You know, raspberry cheesecake.
Yes.
A little bit of a pie action on that. Yep. Raspberry maybe topping on like an ice cream or something. But as a fruit, strawberry wins that for me.
This market's really running.
Yeah, I know.
Intel's back at 20, so oh boy, that reversion.
I just feel sick to
my timing was off, therefore I was wrong on the trade. But oh boy, some of these bottoms coming in really aggressively, and this is what I meant, man. I'm like that. The 19.2. We went all the way from 19 halves to 19.2s.
When moon.
And ripped right back up, and this aggressive bid coming in begs me to question whether or not there's some news going on here.
Yeah, there is news.
So I gotta check for that one there. But yeah, no, aggressive bid coming in on the market there. Spider is pushing back towards its highs there. Wow, Softy, what a recovery for Softy there. So definitely something there, and I think we are going to send it off to Adara to see what's going on.
I do not believe so yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet. Okay, quickly, there's talk about John Carney. New Prime Minister John Carney's in right now talking tariffs as well, but we got Adara.
That's why.
I'm not seeing any headlines as of right now about Mark Carney, though I know there were some headlines on him earlier. But here's the NASDAQ. There is one headline of note that I think is interesting. So Doug Ford of Ontario, Premier of Ontario, saying that they will be suspending the 25% surcharge on exports of electricity, saying that he has now, I guess, in agreement to meet with Howard Lutnick, which is the U.S. Commerce Secretary. They're going to be meeting there on Thursday. And apparently during this meeting, Doug Ford will be discussing a renewed USMCA ahead of the April 2nd deadline. So some tariff talks here ahead of that April 2nd deadline between Doug Ford and Howard Lutnick, according to Doug Ford himself, guys. Back to you.
Ooh, according to Doug Ford himself. Okay. Yeah, and again, we're talking about Mark Carney, which is going to be the new Prime Minister of Canada. Well, is, I guess, the appointed Prime Minister, not elected, as they elect the party, and then Trudeau stepped down. Wow, these futures, man. Go, Gadget futures.
Boy.
You ever watch Inspector Gadget?
Of course.
Okay,
I grew up
I don't know if
watching
you're- I don't know if
Inspector
you're a little
Gadget.
too young for that.
No.
But yeah, go Gadget futures right now as they
think I've
continue to
seen the movie as
they continue to go to the upside, man. Right there. We are dead on that, man. This is now huge in the money. Unfortunately, we got a little I'm upset that we got out of it. But okay, NVIDIA took 111. Oh, close. See, this is the thing. Like, I'm loving a pullback into 110 if we can get it. All right, forget about it. It's going meme crazy now. Again, it just broke 110 as if it didn't, or 111 as if it didn't even matter. So we'll go long here at 12s. One unit to start. It's not like Randy Johnson, the big unit here or anything like that, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening. A 1 unit trade. Let's get out of a third of it up here at 30s if we can, because at the end of the day, I want to average this in, right? So if we can just take a little bit of profit, that high was 21. I'm looking at the 50 period moving average. Look at it, just ride this thing all the way up, man. I mean, it broke it there at 130. That's maybe when the futures, that's 1 o'clock right there. Futures break a view up at 130 and it's off to the races. So giddy up, man. New position alert. I'm not going to say diamond hands because I don't know how long we'll have this, but it's an idea that we had. So let's wait to see what winds up happening now with said idea, and it's an upside play for me. So we'll wait to see if it goes. I am bidding more, but I don't want to get too crazy with it. 10.7. Oh, here it comes. Okay. So again, just 1 unit. Like, we're not. I want to risk some here, but at the same time, I don't want to risk it all, right? I mean, we talked about the rhetoric of getting long into tomorrow's print. That's what I'm thinking. But then we also know that the futures have faded off many times this week and it could happen again. So I don't want to count our chickens before they hatch or anything like that. So we will get a little bit out here. If we can get it out at 30s, we'll take 28 cents or 18 cents, sorry, on it, and then average it back in, man. Like right there. That's going to be a spot for me to get back in. And again, remember, we're trading here on a prop floor, so we can make multiple trades, and we're trading equity. We're not trading options or anything like that, or CDRs or anything. So we have to have the buying power to be able to do this. So I'm going to use the 50 period, whatever it is, once we have our full position, whatever it is, that's going to be my out. And I don't think this is required a full position, by the way, Obi. I just think this requires patience. If it does fall in, we can change our mind. If the futures absolutely crank to the downside, then we'll be long, and we'll be long around here, man. 1050. So 1050 is the spot for me. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. I just put another, I guess I can cancel my Amazon bid at 195.50. That's probably not coming in. We'll cancel our Q's bid at 59.50. That's not coming in. There it is though, boom. So we get it a little bit. It's a little bit of this. Money. You know, we'll put a little bit in our pocket there. We're still growing this net here a little bit. So there's a quick out for us on NVIDIA again. We missed the 111 punch. That's really what I'm pretending I have, although we have 111.12s. We'll see if it can get a little bit higher than this though, right? So here we go, NVIDIA. We're on board. All aboard. Okay, all aboard is right. Let's get going here, Obi. We're just trying to show people that this is possible. And there it goes. It's a nice move to the upside again. We have one red name today. And it actually actually is NVIDIA, and I'll find out why that is. But right into there, let's use 111.50 while we're right here right now. So maybe that could be one of our outs as well, 111.50. That top that we had made earlier on in the day, that wick top is basically 112. So that's where the players dwell. So we want to definitely get out there if we can. It's up and away, man. It's an oh boy moment for us here, Obi, as the market continues to go. And oh boy, we just got that fill as well. We got our 38s. Now let's put an offer at 40s. Again, it's one unit, but for me, the one unit is fine. We always like to have more, Obi. We talk about that.
Yeah, some trades you don't need to put on.
Bang, there it is, man. It's another 40 cents right there. So we'll say, I don't want to get canceled, you know. I don't want all of my U.S. friends there. I mean, I think I'm a pretty nice guy. I think people think, generally speaking, Canadians are nice. But you know, hopefully we play a little bit hardball with these tariffs. No, we don't want that. But okay, so here we go. It's NVIDIA, man. So the only trade that we had today for you in the afternoon was this TQQ trade, which is an absolute monster. I mean, this long at 59, it's at 61 and change. Unfortunately, we cashed out of it, but we did get back in to the long with my long friend. I'm gonna get another piece out here at 40s, which we just did, NVIDIA. So I'm holding half now of the position.
Yep.
So we're holding half. We just took some out there. We took it out at day's high for NVIDIA, and we're pretty happy with it. So let's just do that. We'll run the gauntlet here on NVDA. Oh, just because it's not going to be a sticky note thing. I want to show everybody my puppy right here.
Is that a new puppy?
No, not a new one. No, she's 5 years old.
Okay.
I think we got her just before COVID. Actually, did you see this?
Nice.
So I tweeted this out yesterday. This is actually
that.
from, I think it's from an account. I should have given the account credit. I stole it from the account. I'm not trying to pretend this is mine. Salt Bay. So here's the 6,000 views. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. But it was just before this. Here we go. So we went home last night right here. I said, what a wild day, crazy market day. But you get home, she's staring at me, wants to go for a walk. There she is right here. She's a cockapoo. There it is. What's up, Belle? How you doing, Belle? Here she comes. Anyways, that's it. So if you want to hear me talk all doggy voice and everything like that, go find it there on Twitter. But now it's... just wanted to show that. You know, the thing is you got to have those relaxing moments.
Yes.
You know, at some point. If you go home and stress out, not great.
Yeah, no.
Let's go, NVIDIA, man. We ride that bull, man.
Oh.
You do good things happen. Here it goes, man. 65 cents in the money. Let's go. We're starting to take this out, man. We're on one again, Obi. We love trading. We're here. I hope Neil's enjoying his time in Dunedin, Florida. I hope you're enjoying your time beside me here. We've got Joe ready to go the next couple days. You're going to Miami. Sorry about that. But right now, here we go, man. It's a nice move to the upside for this market. So let's go, man. NVIDIA up to 170.80. We take another piece out. We're now in 40%. Every piece out now 10%. Let's get to the upside, man. I wish it was a 10-unit play, but it ain't. PLTR broke 80. Okay, Charlie Taff, I've got bread to butter right here. Boom, it's NVIDIA. So we'll go long on that one, my guy. So you're still short Intel?
Yeah, because, I mean, here's the thing. Like I said in the morning, I might be a little anchored to this $20 level. And I was this morning, but I was anchored in the wrong way, and maybe I am still. But again, there were sellers there in the morning, and I was like, all right, well, if we come back here, I do want to sell kind of against that and be willing to try a couple of times there because I did make the mistake of not necessarily doing that in the morning. But like I said, if the futures are going to blast through some of these highs, then yeah, I'll get stopped out, but not really putting on as much risk as I was in the morning session. Sean just talked about it. Yeah, sometimes the trades you want to put on you know, some more risk than others, some less risk than others, really depending on you know, how your playbook and your perception of their probabilities plays out. But let's see what Adara has to say.
Keep an eye here
Wow,
on Tesla. We have Donald Trump here making some comments, speaking to reporters at the White House on his way to buy a Tesla, saying, quote, Tesla is a great product. So TSLA currently pushing into day's highs. Just to be aware here, Donald Trump talking about the quality of Tesla as he is on his way to purchase one. Back to you.
This guy reads tape just as well as anybody else. I think it's one of my strongest points also. And I was saying, and again, it's just staring at the level for, you know, level 2 for 20 plus years. At the end of the day, if you rewind this tape, when it was breaking, it was heading up to 111. I said the stock is going meme crazy. And what I mean by that.
Nice. I like that. Let's go.
What I mean by that was you can really start to see this thing go. It pulls back, then it goes. Was that Ramin? Okay. You know, I know, you know, it's interesting when Fabian's like, yes, behind her back, and Ramina's like, no. Okay. Sorry about that, Fabian, if I just sold you out there. But, okay, at the end of the day, and I just said to Obi, start looking at NVIDIA because this one, look, it went up, okay? But this had a feel to it, man. And again, we called the NASDAQ there. We liked the move, man. We tweeted it out. The NASDAQ is like literally just stair-stepping, man. Ever since we got out, there's been like 4 red candles. Nice move to the upside, man. We just bought that live here on the show. Right when we turned on, man, it was 205. We went long. I said, I'm going long futures here at the 200 period. It's blasting up. Not only did we talk about going long, I gave the reason why there. I thought tomorrow's CPI, I don't know if people want to be scheduled short for it, but NVIDIA, just to give people a rough idea, we're out of the majority of this trade. So it broke through 112. It got really excited. We talked about where the players dwell. And there it is, man, 112, 112.20. So I have about 20% left of the trade. So just giving you guys a little bit of an update. And actually, now that we're underneath, I'm going to put an offer at 93. Oh, there it is. So we just got picked up. And there it goes. You see, it's still happening where it goes down and then it just, someone markets the thing up like 15 pennies. There's so much volume. This is 275 million shares. It's not supposed to move like that, right? And so you could tell it, but it is getting a little less now. So I wouldn't punch the long now for everybody else that's looking to say maybe, hey, is it too late? I think yes. At this point, let it settle down. We could pull back. We just got another piece, 15% left right now on NVIDIA. So yes, I like the stock, and I think we traded it really well there today. Why was I red on this stock before? Okay, let me just have a quick little look at that. Oh yeah, that's right. So for sure, red. Like, it doesn't look like it, but this early trade was pretty good. It fell all the way back in, and I don't know if you can't see me right there. So that's 109 breaks. So the average in there, that's 109.30, that's 109.10, 109 breaks and falls down. So we get out, and then we battle it again, out here again, out here again. So it was a cup of coffee, but you could see the difference there, right? Like, here's the break. Excuse me. Here's the break to the upside, and, you know, so again, just erasing all our past demons, taking that out. I just really wish, man, dude, oh my, this futures trade would have been fantastic. But, you know, it's about crying over spilt milk. Like, we already made the decision. We got out at that high. We were uncertain of the future of this market, of course, as per usual. So, yeah. Let's just continue it going, man. I'm really happy with the performance today. We're actually at one of our highest spots. I was looking at the month. We're actually done pretty good this month. I think this is going to be one of my best days. So we're really happy with it so far. And we just topped it off with you guys, right? And so,
I mean, you've had some solid trades pretty much throughout the day. So I think I've been watching you take some of those scalps, man, absolutely solid. And we were kind of talking about some of those partial fills as well. I was like, yeah, I really resonated with that. It's like sometimes you get a partial fill, and it's like sometimes that ends up being such a good trade. And it kind of makes sense because it's like the demand is such that you're not even able to get some. So it's like if you're adding liquidity, it's like you probably need to be removing liquidity in that situation because of how good it is.
So we could tell. I was just showing him like we just got a part of this fill. Like, that's why I was telling you one unit. Like, we were trying to get more, and we got part filled. Yeah. So what I mean by that, what a part fill means, if you're looking for 50 shares, you get 15, or you get 2, or you get 5, or you get 28, but it's not filling your full order. And sometimes that happens. Yeah.
No, my question is, if you see that happen, do you get into like a bunch more being like, oh, this is going to be good because I didn't even get filled for part of it. And then instead of adding liquidity and being posted, what is the situation in which I'm going to be like, all right, I feel even more confident in getting this trade and being like, okay, I want to push in. So yeah, I don't know the answer to that question, but yeah.
No, I mean, you've gotten part fill many times, and I just think it's.
But you're right; it doesn't happen very often.
No. You have to like the trade at the end of the day, right? The fill that you get is the fill that you get, and if you really like, I didn't love it there. We were still, as I point to the screen, we were still a little bit away from the 200 period. So I actually had more bids down here. So trying to fill it up using, again, the 50 period as our stop. So we were trying to get a unit, or more than that. We only wind up getting a unit, remember, like 3 or 4 units, and then down into there, and then down into there to get the full position, but it never happened. So yeah, I'm okay with it. at the end of the day. We're here to trade, and we made that trade right there. So, all right. Someone mentioned to me Palantir, and again, I think it was Charlie Taff, was at $80. Look, we wrote this down on the sticky note. I've liked this trade. $80, bang. $80, bang. It's given you $4 every single time it's been here. This time, you don't stay in this, right? The note that I wrote down on the sticky note was actually get out if it does break, right? So we didn't want to give this more than 50 cents. We've been sitting there in Palantir. You want to talk about a stock going meme crazy? I mean, we heard Kathy Wood yesterday bought 79,000 shares, I believe, of Tesla, probably something similar of Palantir as well, probably more due to the price of it. And you just don't want to stand in the way when those programs are on, and that can really ruin your day. Like, you go short here. Look, first of all, it looks like a freight train going all the way back to the upside. That basically has no stop. So this is a 1 minute chart. In 6 minutes, it went $1.
Yeah.
So it's just straight up, maybe 7 minutes, straight up there. And then, now we look for a little bit of a pullback. So I think if you're looking short now, maybe this is the play. Short through $80 again, and then using some of these highs as you're out, right? $80.30. I mean, we could try it. I don't know if I'm going to, but that's not a horrible trade. All right, so 15% left of NVIDIA. I'm going to take the opportunity now to get another piece out here at 57. Hopefully it, oops, you show the chart there. Okay, there we just got filled. At 57, so we just took that out there again. As we do fall back, 10% left now as we're taking out 5% tranches. Not a bad word, tranche. I was going to actually flip over into a Herman Miller. You okay over there? My guy's pretty cold over here. Cold as ice.
It's little frosty.
It is chilly. I mean, there's the justification right there. I mean, this is why I actually threw, I don't know, I should have kept that coffee. I'm fine, Brendan, actually. I was just doing that for dramatic representation there. But Brendan just wanted to turn it up on the thermostat. But anyways, okay. So quickly, that's cold as ice. That's on purpose. Oh, it's icy.
Oh, there we
go. Okay. I thought that was a bad.
I see that.
You and Adara are supposed to have that.
Oh boy.
Man, what's the word I'm looking for? Pun.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
Adara's like, yo, come at me, dog. Adara's a punathon.
Punathon.
Yeah, punathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we don't want that smoke. I don't know, but all right. So here's the thing. We're just talking about tape and tape reading and some interesting. I don't know who that is. But
wait a second. You don't know who Tate McRae is?
The name sounds familiar, but I have no idea. Come on.
#1 album right now on the Billboard.
Yeah.
And Canadian. And from Calgary.
I don't know. Okay.
How do I know this much about Tate McRae?
Yeah,
Calgary. Yeah, I apologize. I should not
know
know this much about Tate McRae.
I have no idea who that guy is, but what I do know.
Plus, you think it's a guy, so.
Well, here's the thing. What I know more than this Tate
if
guy
I showed you Tate
was
McRae,
the guy who was sitting at $20 on Intel. There was 3,000 lots that came in on Intel. That's the guy I knew.
McRae guy is
well,
really
maybe I didn't know him, but it comes in. You can see what happened here on the chart. I can kind of zoom it in here, but I have my stop at if we cross 05s, I'm like, all right, I'm going to punch out. Like I said before, I didn't get in as much obviously as I wanted to, because I'm like, all right, well, end of day, let's see if this works really good. It comes in, it actually comes in, prints the size above that 20, and then insta flush with the market pulling back in. So it's like, all right, cool. I get right back in when I see that, and I love to see that because I'm like, all right, now I'm even more confident. There was a seller there. We took that seller out. It was a significant volume. You look at the volume bar, it is an elevated volume bar, and then you cannot trade above, and it's a place where sellers were there before. Let's see if there's
news. Trump's tariffs. Adara.
There is some news. What's up, Adara?
There is, in fact, news about Trump regarding tariffs. So basically, Donald Trump is still commenting here, waiting for his, to go make his Tesla purchase. He said, quote, the markets are going to go up and down, but we have to rebuild our economy, and saying that, referring to tariffs, that the U.S. had to do this. So saying that he had no choice but to impose tariffs, and that the markets can go up and down, though he did note that he respects Ontario's decision to suspend its 25% energy surcharge. As mentioned earlier, Doug Ford just announced that this afternoon that they're going to be doing that. Yeah, just some positive comments still, though, about Elon Musk and Tesla. But other than that, really the main thing here, saying that even though markets will go up and down, he stands by his decision for these tariffs, guys. Back to you.
Dara, we were in a little bit of trouble there with NVIDIA. came back into the 50-period moving average again there. And we got stopped out. But we went long again. I don't know if this is going to work, man. I mean, we heard the tariff news. Like, I'm hearing all this stuff in my ear, like, comes down in, like, really hard into the 50-period moving average. We just averaged it in right there. So we wind up taking about a 30-cent hit. Then we just bought it right back there off a wicked bottom. And now it's really working out for us again. So, you know, we do have, oh, boy. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day again right now. I'm just buying these dips, man, has been a pretty good opportunity here. I think Canada does hold, and not just because we are Canadian or anything like that, but I think Canada does hold the key to this market rallying a little bit here. I think if Carney can get involved with Trump and all this kind of stuff, and they can sort of just, you know, Trump already feels pretty good. Justin Trudeau's gone. We've sort of been calling him governor and everything like that. So I think Trump will probably maybe consider that a win, although I think he was out of there but even before Trump won the election. But at the end of the day here, if we can talk kindly about this, reciprocal tariffs coming off, and then maybe a little bit of a pause on this energy talk, we know that helps everybody. And at the end of the day, Trump is a self-proclaimed deal maker, and you know, if he can get one done, then let's just get one done and move on. So here we go. Let's go, NVIDIA, man. Let's go, President Xi. Let's get this going here. Let's see if we can rally this market. Oh boy, Obi, 71 cents in the money. We back, baby. We Tate McRaeing this market. Here we go. It's a nice move to the upside. Let's keep going to that upside. Let's ride this market like a sports car. That's her number one hit song, Sports Car.
Oh, it's a woman.
It's a woman.
Nice. Okay, Ramin saying, so shut up.
If you search it up, you will never forget who Tate McRae is again in your life. She was on Saturday Night Live a little while.
Good music. I'm assuming she makes good music.
For Obi.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean?
I will.
For Obi.
Sure, yeah. Come on. For who else?
I mean, she comes on the TV. I change the channel, but I'm saying for you.
Yeah. I get another monitor. No, I'm joking. So we're getting a bit of a shake and bake here on this market. Again, I don't know. It seems like this tariff news is coming in. There's stuff's changing by the minute. It's almost as if we have to assess real-time probabilities as new information comes into the market. It's kind of what we're supposed to be doing anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
it's interesting stuff here nonetheless. But
I mean, you're still short intel. I mean, Do you still like that play?
I mean, here's the thing: we are catching it. Like I'm watching Nvidia here as well. We could very well easily get back to 20. I'm more than willing to be wrong on the trade. I have you know what I mean. Like we were talking about this. I think sometime last week. It's like one of the bigger improvements that I've had over the last year was getting better at losing. Yeah. Right? And as traders, we have to be the best loser. And I think Tom Hogard, you heard of him?
No.
He has a book called The Best Loser, and I think that's an absolutely beautiful book. Definitely worth a read there. But yeah, it kind of reflects on the kind of mindset and stuff you have to kind of assume to continue to strive to be a better trader. And I think I've been kind of learning a little bit from that as well. Still on the journey, like I said before. Still a guppy in this ocean, but
you're not?
We'll see. But trying to be the best loser, Sean. I'm okay with
the more you believe in yourself being a beginner, the more you're going to trade like one, right? I think you should up your level a little bit there and get a little more confidence. All right, there it is, man. Let's spin that money around one more time. There's now NVIDIA, dollar in the money, Obi. You are 10 times smarter of a guy than me, but here it goes. Nice move to the upside right now. More than $1, $1.20, $1.30. Let's go. We're starting to ramp this trade up again. And again, Obi, you know what it begins with? Confidence. And we talked about what we wanted. We wanted longs, right? We picked on the futures, bang, they're at highs. We pick on NVIDIA, boom, it's at day's high as well right now. Well, 112 is the day's high. And we nailed this. We nailed it once, we nailed it twice, Obi thrice. So there it goes. Nice move to the upside one more time. And I really appreciate everything that you're talking about, man. I mean, it matters a lot to hear what you're talking about, spit some ideas back and forth, and then you're giving like real life situations and how you feel, right? I mean, and that's, to me, that's what it's all about, and that's why I'm just trying to be, you know, as honest and honestly, like just looking at different stocks, trying to figure this out, talking about tape reading with you, and looking at different things. I mean, if you wanted my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to look at Intel. You're already on it. Okay, let's look at Google. I mean, that was a name that I felt like did have some runway to it as well. Good job right there. We talked about this with Sharif when he was on, and just looking at, again, that VWAP break, right? You and I, how important was that talk that we had earlier today? We talked about what's VWAP going to do. If you break VWAP in the afternoon, to me, that's a go time. Obi and I had mentioned that we had said, let's look at some stocks that are looking at VWAP in the afternoon. That's why we went over there to the futures. And I just thought if we were going to start to really rally up, it had to hold the volume weighted average price because the market wants to go long. We need to have shorts offside and we need people to start to cover. Man, this frog in the throat. Oh, hey, remember yesterday when we cheersed water?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we really don't have too many losers since we've done that.
That might have been bad luck.
So, salute.
Cheers, guys. But
yeah, all right. Let's go back. All right, we are going to go to Adara with some more breaking news.
Some news here on both Tesla and just comments from Donald Trump as a whole. We'll start with Tesla because I saw this one first. We have TSLA on watch. Elon Musk just saying now that Tesla is going to be doubling its vehicle output in the United States in the next 2 years. So Tesla looking to double its U.S. vehicle output. We also have comments here coming from Donald Trump when asked if he's going to be looking to reduce the Canada's on tariff. He said that he probably would, and he's looking at it. So there's a potential here for Donald Trump to reduce these tariffs in Canada, or at least he's considering that possibility. So keep an eye on that. He also commented that interest rates have come down, and so have the price of eggs and gas. So some comments from Donald Trump. I think the most interesting, though, potentially cutting tariffs in Canada, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
Those eggs are getting a little expensive here.
When's the last time you bought eggs?
I honestly don't remember.
Exactly. All right,
well, technically, I got a burger and it had an egg in it.
That's actually a pretty good topping.
Yeah, I love
when the yolk is dripping down.
Yeah. Oh boy, indeed. And speaking of the yolk dripping down, it seems like this market's taking a little bit of a pullback here. As of right now. But so a little bit of a chip chop. So let's take a quick
25% left of NVIDIA just for everybody. Yep.
Let's take a look at which ticker out of the mags is actually taking the strongest pullback here. I was looking at that Apple trade earlier. Apple, I was like, oh boy, maybe some VWAP sellers on Apple. Guess what? Apple snappled those VWAP sellers here, and I was about to type in Snapple.
Snapple.
Yeah, you just snapped through them. That's what I'm trying to say right there. So it's right there. So we did kind of reject
Powerful
initially
stuff.
Right here, but look at that. Breaks right back out, trading a little bit higher here, and then that's, I guess, it's kind of finding some pullback here. Okay, so Intel's kind of coming in as well. I'm curious to know, do we pull back into that 19.5? We kind of talked about that 19.5 being a potential area. Again, it showed itself in the pre-market and a little bit in the morning, maybe an area of equilibrium. Maybe, let's see if we can pull back into that going into the close. I have no idea. Maybe we do kind of bid up into the close as well. But Softy kind of pushing up against its daily highs. Amazon as well. So it's going into the close. Some of these tickers have reverted a decent chunk of the selling that we've had during the morning or the midday session. Look at these beautiful V-shaped recoveries on some of these tickers. This is Amazon right here, pretty much giving us the leg up, coming back in, and then all the way back to the highs once again. 200. I wonder if Bezos is still sitting there. And remember, prior to us breaking, that was a resistance level, and then it became a support level. Now we're trading below that. I'm curious to know whether that 200 stays a resistance level, because that was pretty significant sometime last year as well with the Bezos lid, as we called it there. And the other ticker right here is Softy. Take a look at this one. Pretty much strong V-shape there from the midday session. 11 o'clock, that selling comes in. We break that pre-market low, opening range low as well, and then a strong bid right back up towards highs with only about 45, just over 45 minutes left in the trading day. And so NVIDIA obviously trading at its highs. Meta as well, we kind of talked about that one there. Meta kind of chopping it up to 615s right here. So we did attempt to break those day highs, but still holding back as of right now. So no idea what's going to happen. Again, tariffs are on the horizon. Let's see what Adara has.
No, not yet. Just real quick. Okay. Yeah, just quickly. If we break the 50-period moving average, I just want to give people the out for NVIDIA. So I'm going to give out just a little bit under 111 right now. We're scalping some out. What's up, Adara?
And speaking of tariffs on the horizon, as Obi just mentioned, we do have some more comment from Donald Trump on tariffs, saying that he's looking at backing down on the 50% duties on Canada, specifically with regards to aluminum and steel. These are actually just teased properly this morning. Now Donald Trump says he's considering backing down on them, and he will, quote, let us know if the 50% tariffs are going into effect. They were supposed to go into effect tomorrow. Now it sounds like they might not be happening. So keep an eye on NUE and names like Alcoa, anything involved in steel or aluminum. And right now they are pulling back a little bit here, guys. As Donald Trump says, he will let us know if the tariffs set for tomorrow are actually happening. Back to you.
So
A little bit of a shake and bake there.
A little bit of a shake and bake. You like shake and bake?
I like shake and bake.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it.
I've had it like maybe once or twice. Very long
Yeah,
time
I think
ago.
it's like an 80s thing.
Yeah.
All
Back
right.
in the 80s, I think I might have had some.
Yeah. 80s baby. All right, so we just broke that again. We had less than 20%. We were talking about, we actually, as we went there, we were getting some more outs there in the 30s, and there it goes, it breaks lower. Remember, our average price was 68 down into there because we actually got that trade first, and then that trade second. So we were playing off some 68, so we still take about 20 cents on the last 20%, or about, I think we had about 18% left, something in that range right there. So let's check out Nucor. I mean, I really like this steel name. I've been in this name before. I need to straighten out my portfolio, man. I just had so much stuff going on recently, so I'm not even sure what I'm in anymore. But this name is definitely something that I'm in, Nucor, and or was in the past. I like the stock. This has had a huge move down. We talked again, it looks like there won't be or will be tariffs, or won't be tariffs, will be tariffs, won't be tariffs. So I think you want to let this thing settle down again, man. But Nucor, nice little move there. Just to look on the daily. I don't really want to trade a name that's this volatile now, because you're going to get a headline and it's going to like wick one way or the other. U.S. Steel would be the name that someone in the chat said. So is Trudeau done now in Canada? Yes, he's not going to have any kind of a.
Does he get like a retirement package? Or
Yes, of course, man. He was our prime minister for like, how long was he prime minister for? 11 years? Trudeau, 10, 11 years?
Yeah, almost 10.
10 years? Okay, yeah. So October 2015. So there you go. So yeah, right there. So almost 10 years. So, he's been here. He's gonna go down. Not going to say the best, not going to say the worst prime minister, but he was well liked for a while. And then, of course, you can't have someone in power for 10 years. Like, the policies get stale. You look back, you're always going to make bad decisions. They're always going to come back and haunt you, so on and so forth. So whether or not you like the guy or not, he is now gone. So people in the chat said, do we have to worry about him anymore? No. So it's this Mark Carney dude that will happen, and then we'll wait. We're hoping for Parliament to get their stuff together and actually go back to work, and then announce an election. So hopefully that will be either summer or fall, and then that's where, I don't know, the early polls, I believe, show a conservative government, but we'll wait to see as we'll go through all of that. So that's what's happening here in Canada for the time being. All right, Tesla. Again, nice move up, man. I mean, Adara's been reporting some positive things there for, again, we talked about Elon Musk, we've talked about Tesla, and yeah, it broke to highs right there in the afternoon. So nice trade there for Tesla, as the market did as well. I believe this is a pullback buy here. We've been pretty negative on Tesla over the last month or so, more than a month. But now maybe it's turning that corner. And again, you can always cherry pick levels, but maybe this is one, man. The 200 is a pretty nice area there. Joe was talking about options and whatnot for Tesla. I think there was a $100 call that you could have got premium on for writing earlier on today. I don't think that's probably existing anymore. What's up, Adara?
More comments here from Donald Trump and now Elon Musk as well. So Elon Musk basically saying that he plans to remain the CEO of Tesla. We know that his CEO-ship, for lack of a better term, of Tesla has kind of been in question, because he even said that he was having, quote, great difficulty managing his businesses during an interview airing yesterday. But now apparently Elon Musk saying that he does plan to remain the CEO of Tesla. Donald Trump, when asked if the market concerns him, said, quote, nope, doesn't concern me, saying that some people will make some great deals during the current market sell-off. So not worried about the sell-off, saying it could actually provide some opportunity for deals, saying that he also does not see a recession at all, and, quote, the country is going to boom. So some questions or some comments from Donald Trump on the market. Back to you.
Things are cheaper.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
the art of the deal.
The art of the deal. I mean, that's all that matters, right? We're making, every time you buy a stock, someone's buying, someone's selling. You're coming up with it.
I just find it funny that everybody likes to blame price action on something. Like, it does, to me, it doesn't really matter. Come on.
Well, I mean, the market.
Just take the trade.
Right. Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, it's well, they say the dog that wags the tail or something like that.
Something like that.
But at the end of the day, yeah, you need to pick the right stocks, right? And I think that what we always look at, I want to make sure that everybody does obviously hit that QR code right there for real trading, and make sure you figure out what platform we're on and what we're doing. But we also have a watch list that goes out every single morning with many. Sharif works on, the whole team working on it besides me, I think. And it's a great piece. It's literally the tool that I use. I come in here every single morning. We build the sticky note off of it. It's a great piece of research information. It's our watch list. It's completely free. I think everybody should go to the link in the description. Sign up for that because we had Tesla news on there this morning. We have some low float runners on there at the bottom every single day. I believe Google was on there. Some of the Chinese ADRs were on there, which made me write down FXI. Let me just check out to see what has happened.
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay, so we actually, I think it was 36.40. Oh no, we didn't have FXI on here. We actually talked about it earlier. I liked it down here into, maybe it wasn't 36. Oh yeah, it must have been. It was the 200 period. Yeah, so 36.40. So yeah, that level, I mean, we didn't trade it today. Hasn't really held. It looks like that bottom of, I'm just, like the reason why I'm kind of doing like a little bit of a stink face at it, it's like, I have to see a reason, like why would this bottom be significant? It's not really. I don't really see too much here. So I'm going to leave FXI alone, but at the end of the day, up 1.36% is nice, but still down on the day. Alibaba, I believe, we did this with the rundown. I like the break of that low. You could see though, even though the market's at days, well, it's just pulled back. We never really got to 141. So maybe Alibaba, some of the Chinese steam is maybe pulling off a little bit here, and some focus maybe on some Canadian names. The US dollar, this is UUP. It was going to the downside earlier on, and I believe it still is pushing that way as well. Yeah, a big move in the US dollar today, man, down 0.6%. That's not great. It's obviously it's going to be good for some of these multinationals, but excuse me. Nice move to the downside here for UUP. So you've seen a strong dollar. And then a pullback there. I don't know what this gap is all about right there, but nice pullback in right there again. This is just, okay, more news notes from President Trump. Oh, same thing that Adair just said. Markets are going up and down. We have to rebuild our country. He respects Ontario. Boom. Basically the central hub of Canada as far as economics are concerned, naturally, right? But there is big energy in the West, so we don't want to discount Alberta and whatnot as well. But it's nice that they're talking Canadian here. Okay. He still wants to put the tariffs into effect, but he does respect what's happening over here. Okay. Ooh, Trump now talking the R word right now. He says
reversion?
Reversion, yeah. No, he's saying he is.
I mean, it's reversion. I like it. Which way?
Okay, so he's saying no interruption to Social Security. He's saying he does not see a recession. Adair's going to confirm all this in a minute, I hear. And also, let's throw to Adara.
So when asked about a recession, he said that he does not see, Donald Trump says he does not see the chance of a recession at all. So just keep an eye on Tesla here, because not only is Donald Trump apparently currently in a Model S vehicle, but he did say that he will be acting pretty harshly here if there's any violence against Tesla dealerships. We know that there's been some issues here with regards to Tesla facing some protester actions. Now apparently that violence will be, I guess, dealt with here, guys. Donald Trump will not stand for it. So keep an eye on TSLA. Donald Trump basically saying that he is not being okay with the violence that I guess we've seen here in some of these dealerships and the protesting. He also said, quote, "We'll have the greatest markets we've ever had." So those are some comments here from Donald Trump on the markets and a lot on Tesla. Back to you.
I guarantee you we're not having the greatest markets we've ever had. I mean, in the next 4 years, I can't predict the future, but
for day traders,
I'm not getting that feeling right now that this is going to be like the booming, the roaring 20s here.
The roaring 20s.
Again, but maybe it's the roaring 2020s and we keep going right now. Hey, it's possible. So it's nice to hear that. Yeah. I don't know about all that Tesla talk.
That's a little disappointing, but...
The thing is, Bitcoin is like the little bit of an undercover runner right now. I mean, we're not really talking about it. We haven't looked at IBIT. I haven't really looked at IBIT all day. I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but I don't need no advertising. All right, here we go. the only advertising I need is from the show. Okay, so there it goes. Nice move up, 83 and change. So yeah, it looks like right now crypto well off. Again, I look at a 5-minute chart because I chart the same on both these charts. 50-period moving average, 5-minute moving average. So 50 and 200 on a 5-minute chart. But yeah, crypto right here. If you're looking at a possible top, it does look like 83.6, 83.5 or so here as a top for Bitcoin. But that's been a nice little bounce back, right? So we talked about looking at Coinbase. And again, we told you Adara was busy. It looks like it's not going to stop. What's up, eh?
It looks like it won't. So this is actually not a comment from Donald Trump, but it is adjacent to Donald Trump here. Basically, keep an eye on IRBT. This is iRobot. This one getting its largest volume candle by far today, as Axios reports that apparently the Donald Trump FTC, or the FTC under his administration, the Federal Trade Commission, has told CEOs when the agency will be, quote, getting out of the way on M&A. We know that a lot of these deals have been blocked for companies like iRobot. That was on watch. We also had Albertsons and Kroger. We had Capri and Tapestry. So keep an eye on any of these M&A related companies, or companies that were recently rocked by M&A related announcements that were no longer allowed to go through. We actually have IRBT. I looked at all of these having the best move by far on this report from Axios that the Trump FTC is going to be telling CEOs when the agency will step back on mergers and acquisitions. Back to you.
Right. You're going to be going back to Adara in just a matter of seconds now, because when she reads the next news headline, she's going to call for it one more time, because he's now talking all about Russia. He's talking about Putin. He's saying that Russia's not really feeling any deals, all this kind of stuff. So so as soon as I heard that, and again, I'm just getting ready to throw it back to her at some point, but Morgan Stanley, whenever I hear that about more deals possible, we do know that Morgan Stanley should be the benefit of less regulation, as, again, the investment bank, Morgan Stanley, and then Goldman Sachs has been the other potential beneficiary of less regulations, as these are the guys that are brokering those deals and underwriting and so on and so forth. So could relate to more IPOs coming through. And again, you don't want to IPO your stock in this kind of environment. So you want to wait for some more certainties, especially if you're coming to market. You want to get bought out. You want to have that possibility of doing that, especially as an IPO. So we'll wait to see if there is some movement there. I was just looking at SMR, and we looked, tired of winning yet? Well, we're tired of losing, so hopefully winning will get going there. That's not the greatest picture. I mean, this guy looks great. I don't understand how some of the energy that Donald Trump has, like when he was over there talking to Congress a couple days ago, it wasn't the State of the Union, but his address to Congress, like the guy was still going strong, man. He was on that podium for like 2 hours. Yep. I saw people in the audience, like even his own members, like I was falling asleep. Like, a lot of people, this guy has a lot of energy for 80, is he 81?
Yeah.
78, Adara said.
To be honest, man, like,
that's just a lot. Like, to be up that much, doing all these press conferences, all this kind of stuff, like,
a lot of it.
I don't know, man. I hope I had that much energy at 78, 81, whatever, however old he is, man. This guy is all over the place, whether you like him or not. I mean, Joe Byron was like, that guy.
That's what I was about to say. It's like a little bit of fresh air, and we can kind of understand the sentences,
Yeah, so, I mean, there was that. Like, that guy, anyways.
He's definitely got some energy.
Whatever, at the end of the day. 12 Diet Cokes a day will do it to you, yes, some guy says over there. By the way, like, I wish I could roll this up, but I still have like half of this left. You know what?
You can still do it.
Yeah, forget it. I'm for the people.
Yes.
All right, new segment alert. Roll up the rim of news again. Okay. You ready?
Yes. Let's go.
This one, it's harder to do because
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
You know what it says.
Oh, okay, yes. Oh, boy.
When it starts with the word please. Yeah. I can't win at all.
What if they have one where it says, please come into the main office, you've won a Tesla?
No, yeah,
you've won it's not a Tesla.
No, it's that ID Buzz.
It's Volkswagen.
Well, unfortunately, this one, now you made me double check that again, just in case that is possible. I'm just playing around. It says, please play again.
What if the one that actually wins the car, the sentence starts off the same way? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Randy again.
We'll see if Randy wants.
Randy's I think
he has a high hit rate.
Oh, by the way, we did have the smart card down there. It was 20. It's a 2017, I believe, the smart card that Randy tried to start, and it was in a parking spot down there. Rabin was going to roll it over with her truck, and now it's gone. So we've got it. We've got it out of there now. It's out of there. So maybe there's a parking spot for Ramin.
Is it like a car heist? Like what do you mean now it's gone?
Oh no, the battery, it wouldn't start.
Oh, okay.
So it's been sitting down there for a while. Randy replaced the battery, obviously not successfully, and Yeah, I know. But I mean, Randy tried to boost it and all that kind of stuff. So it's on a flatbed. It's out of here. Back to the Mercedes dealership. And now, I know. I heard the whole story. Ramin, she wants to buy the car. She wants to fix it. She wants to put it in the back of her pickup there and get out. She has a Dodge Ram down there. It's like the big, what is it then? It's GMC Sierra. My bad. Right there. It's a huge, huge vehicle down there.
She's like, no, it's not.
She's like, how dare you? She used to have the Explorer. What happened to the Explorer?
Yeah.
What happened to the Explorer that was down there?
Wait, what's your dream car, Ramin?
Look, a collision. Were you driving it? Oh, okay. Oh, her car is totaled. Her other car is totaled.
Oh, no. Oh, she was
not
driving
anything.
Okay, I was going to ask,
okay, so
what did you do?
Here we go. Ramin wants to make sure that it is quite clear that she was not driving. Or at least when the police got there, she wasn't. Right. Okay, all right, so what's the...
She fled from the site? What did she say? Side of the
Obi,
scene?
you're the one.
I have no
at
idea.
This point,
you know what? I'm just trying to focus on some of this action going on, and guess what? There's like no action happening right now. We did pull back off of some of those highs we were making here, but
if you guys are liking the show, we're really
crazy.
Enjoying ourselves, man. We put on some good bangers here this afternoon. We're having a lot of fun here. Hit the like.
Trading is fun. As hard as it is, it's definitely a lot of fun. So
yeah. Okay. All kidding aside, no, everyone's okay. I didn't even know that, Ramin. So I hope everyone's fine, and as we go on there, so. Okay, so that was about a month and a bit ago. So December, a couple months ago. Yeah. All right, that's it. Where have I been? Like I was like, where's your truck? It's been a while, and it's been a couple months. All right, so let's move on. All right, what's up with SMR today? Like again, nice little bounce back. You know, we're looking for these days, up 10%. You know, different. You know, there's various other names. We looked at Oklo as well coming through. So let's just see what's going on. Oklo is the uranium company as well, right? Yeah, up another 9% there today. There's NNE, I believe, is another one for nuclear there. So they're all getting that little bump today. Must have been some kind of a story about this. I
think there was something yesterday.
I believe I missed it.
Something about I don't know if
this is what
correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's one of the mags said something about ramping up their SMRs for powering, and I think it might have been Google.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Not 100% sure, but again, something yesterday did come out. But I guess they caught a bid today because I was looking at them yesterday. It didn't really make too much of a move on the catalyst yesterday. But that could be a potential reason.
I mean, I like just thinking about. We talked about robotics. We actually had Michael Noss on yesterday's after show, and he was talking about JC Peretz, which I think we'll be having. Maybe we'll have him back pretty soon on the show. But he was talking about speaking with JC, and we had Raider Trader on before as well, and they were liking. It's the first time I heard other than Raider talk about robotics. Ooh. So he was saying that because I'd asked Michael, like, is there any segments, is there anything that you're looking at right now? Because I asked him about that XLF. Oh, I forgot to ask him about the relative volume in the morning on JP Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
I did go through a lot. It wasn't just JPM.
Right. It was
on a lot of different tickers. So I was questioning. I was like, what if this is just a glitch? But it wasn't on every single ticker.
ARKB.
That's what I was kind of thinking. And I'm like, all right, well, it could have just been. What was interesting to me, Sean, was relative volume was really, really strong and in very high multiples in the first hour. And as soon as that 10:30 mark hit, the RVol just drops as if somebody turned off some algos at 10:30. So they only ran them for the first hour. I don't know, maybe tinfoil hat, tinfoil suit.
Yeah.
But the RVol dropped significantly after the 10:30, and I'm like, all right, well, somebody just did some business, buying or selling.
ARKQ.
No idea, don't know. But those prices were definitely interesting. And we kind of traded a little bit lower off of some of those day lows from yesterday, but a little bit of a sideways chop. We did take a breather today, it would seem. Spider's kind of sideways. You can see the market's kind of sideways as well. So not as aggressive as some of the selling that we've been seeing coming in over the past, earlier on this week and over the past couple of weeks as well. So.
Not sure if we just had a call or not. If we didn't, though, come over to the screen just real quick, and then I can throw it. This is what I was looking for, ARKQ. Okay, so this is the ARK, which is Kathy Wood, of course, her robotics ETF. So, holding, I guess. And we can go look. She's very They are very at ARC, very open with what they're investing in, what they're looking at. So we can go find out the names that are invested here, and you can pick and choose those if you do like. But yeah, this is the robotics ETF and some of the stuff that we look at here. If you like this name, this is also at the 50-period moving average. So definitely some potential there if you are interested in a robotics ETF. And I was just playing around with my good friend there, Raider Trader, and I didn't even look to see what the ETFs have been doing, but he had liked it, and it has dripped down a little bit, as many stocks have, into the 200-period moving average. So if you are looking for a little bit of strength somewhere, maybe look at the robotics. I mean, like I just told you, there's a couple people that we know that were interested in ARKQ. Maybe not this one specifically, but definitely the robotics space. So you can have a look there if that was something. Yeah, Rich Tech Robotics was another one. You had mentioned
we
that.
looked at that a little bit.
And I know there's been a few Canadian companies. We had, I forget the individual's, right, I forgot the individual's name that was here last week, but he was talking about some of the ideas that they had up there in Collingwood, and they had their get-together of smaller ideas here in Canada, and some of the names on there. I'll have to get them for you guys, but that was talked about definitely as a robotics play. So definitely in Canada, some names popping off as well. And if you were interested in joining, us here and look at the same software that we're using and talk stock, you could join Real Trading with us right now. The campus program is back on. If you are located outside of continental US, you can sign up for this. There's a program structure, and it's just about learning how to trade, man. You go through phase one, learn about all the markets, the bid, the ask, very, very simple stuff like that. Then get introduced right there into our platform. Level 2s, things like that, trade activity. This is about 2 weeks. Phase 3, get into our simulator, right? And start hitting those goals. Once you make those goals, then you can get turned live into phase 4, as seen on the best trading show ever, Trader TV Live. And do you have what it takes? Hit that apply now. I think it's completely free. I should probably double check this, but I believe it is. Apply now, get all that information. I'm going to ask right now if that is true. But again, over 60 plus markets. They are curating US stocks right now, so that's going to be an interesting list to look at. If you are interested in trading with us, please do so immediately and sign up. And I'm going to get more details for you guys because it's actually not in our, I should maybe follow the read that I'm supposed to do, but I've already read it. I don't think there's anything about cost, so I'm going to double check and get onto that right now. What is up with your Intel trade? It looks like it's.
I mean, I'm watching it. I'm watching it a little bit more, not necessarily for the rest of the day, but I just want to know what it does relative to this $20 area going into tomorrow. So I don't know. Maybe one could argue that I might be anchored to this price over a multi-day time frame, but the fact of the matter is, over the past few days, the past couple of weeks, I think it was 21, there was supply on Intel, and then now 20 became a bit of a significant level, a bit of an over-under, it would seem, and then now we're kind of pushing back, magneting back into it. And I said it this morning, that's why I was trying to get that reversion back into that 20, and it's just confirming my bias when I was like, okay, there was a lot of volume traded at that $20 level. It seems like there's a lot of liquidity there. I wonder what price does when there's a lot of liquidity at certain blocks of price, and I wanted to know if it would magnet back into it. I kind of misinterpreted some of the price action in the morning, didn't really listen to what the chart and the price action was telling me off of that 20. But again, it seems like it still kind of wants to interact with that 20 and kind of pushing back into it. We did see some strong volume on the push back to that 20 here on Intel. Now, again, this is an American chip maker. So that's why I am very interested in it. With all the tariffs kind of going around, I do want to be familiar with the price action. And another reason why I'm kind of watching it and getting familiar with it as well is because in a market where let's see what the VIX is at right now. In a market where the VIX is at 26s, it was at 29s a little bit earlier today, maybe pushing up towards 29.5s. Things can be pretty volatile, and Intel. It is more volatile as relative to the VIX being a little bit lower in the past, or relative to its past. But again, it gives me a look to be like, all right, this is a little bit slower moving. It's not as volatile as, say, like an Apple or like a Tesla or a Softie, even though I'm definitely seeing trades happening there as well. But yeah, I kind of want to look into it a little bit more because of the liquidity as well, because it's like if and when a good trade shows up on Intel, I'm starting to get the feeling that I can size in pretty effectively for that trade and really put on that A+ kind of size when it comes to it. Whereas it would be a little bit more difficult getting in to your full size on something like an Apple or like a Softie, something like that, right? So you'd have to maneuver probably. I'm assuming you'd have to maneuver a little bit differently there on some of those tickers relative to something that is so liquid and not as spready here, and maybe not giving you as much slippage as some of those other names. But yeah, I like Intel. I think it's one to keep on watch. It's been doing some interesting things on higher time frames as well. That's why I've been trading it a lot more often. But yeah, no, I understand I'm missing out on some other playbook trades as well for myself. Like, for example, this was, I guess I can show you guys, I mean, it's the end of the day, so I can show you guys what my morning plan was here.
Oh, my market's coming in a little
I'm just like, all right, morning plan. I'm pointing out what the VIX was at in the morning. I'm like, all right, VIX is at 27.30, so, you know, manage yourself responsibly. And I was like, look for midday continuations if we are holding VWAP, because that's what we've been kind of doing over the past couple of weeks. And we didn't really necessarily do that today, so I kind of disregarded that a little bit. I did take some shorts on Intel, but yeah, Tesla closed at low day. We talked about this one. Look for continuation below prior day low. And then VWAP hold. XOM didn't really do what I was looking for. Oracle did do what I was looking for. Asana did do what I was looking for. KSS definitely did do what I was looking for there. Hood and XPEV, not really. So that was kind of my morning plan. Nothing really worked out that well. But again, I got involved in stuff that kind of showed up. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye here on these markets. We do have some comments coming from the finance minister's office in Canada. They're saying that if the U.S. does move ahead with imposing these tariffs on March 12th, just to recap, would be doubling tariffs on aluminum and steel, Canada will in turn be ready to respond, quote, firmly and proportionately. It's also worth noting that we did have comments coming from Donald Trump earlier when he was looking at his Teslas that he's not even sure if we will get these tariffs coming through for Canada tomorrow. He said we'll have to wait and see, but potentially here 50% tariffs for U.S. for steel and for aluminum. Canada says if that does come to pass, they will be responding. So back to you. And also we are brought to you by eSignal. Before I send you back to you guys, traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right, we are waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize, because our platform is everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform, so do not miss out. Execute your best trades now with eSignal. Are you ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Back to you.
I don't want to skip anything that we get from our viewers. So thank you, Nimrod, right there for 10 gifted memberships. And then also a super chat. Unfortunately, I know Sharif talks often about IBKR. I've never used any basically trading platform other than what we have right here, which is PPro8, which is proprietary to this company, which is Real Trading. We've talked about that a couple times as well. So someone says Robinhood, but he's saying for non-US citizens, so just joking was in there for crypto trading in his region. Okay, yeah. So I don't know where you're located, but if there's anybody, maybe you can put that in the chat, Nimrod, as well, and which country you're located in, and then if there's anybody else in that country, which I'm sure there is, watching the show, they could potentially suggest a broker for you or a trading platform that would work, right? I mean, I think fees are so important, especially if you're going to be an active trader, so you want to watch out for that. But yeah, definitely double check it. And then customer support, also pretty important. So I feel like there's good reviews out there. Canada news.
Ooh, what's happening now?
Oh, nothing. Canada's ready to respond to tariffs. That's all. Okay, so, all right. So just quickly here, $80 for Palantir. I know there's some talk about it. A lot of traders very interested in trading Palantir. It does move a lot, so you got to be careful with it. But yeah, that $80 seems to be a good little level there. It's only $3.42, so there's not too much time left in the day. Yep. We have Pfizer, Suncor, Coke.
What is that?
It's Canadian. Why don't I know what TRP is? TC Energy, that's right, it changed its name. All right, Schlumberger, Ford, AT&T, Kinder Morgan, Pinterest, New Bank there, New Holdings, Carnival Cruise Line. So they're all here. We don't have NASDAQ until 350, so that will update as well. A couple buys, a couple sells, seems relatively irrelevant right now. Pfizer doesn't really move. Pfizer's been an interesting name, the biotech. We saw some healthcare names going upside yesterday, but this is not a healthcare name. This is more the biotech style of it. Yesterday we had J&J and some of those plays moving around a little bit there as well. I think that was close to a positive sector. For me, XPI, the last time I bought some of this was near the bottoms, but that bottom has made new lows since I bought it, and I'm staying away. Like, I'm just really buying the S&P 500. The last time I bought this was in this area where I thought maybe we would hold. It doesn't look like we are. So 88, 89 for XPI. I feel pretty good about it. If it comes into 82, 83, I may pick some more up there. Again, population is what it is. I like the biotech space. I thought that with AI, we could get a boon in new inventions, new medical discoveries, things like that. The process of testing vaccines. We saw mRNA, whether or not you believe in the vaccine for COVID or not. Apparently they had that in under 48 hours or something. So, I mean, I like it. I think it's a positive for cancer treatments, dementia, things like that, Alzheimer's, things that there really is no cure for, that will continue to work towards a cure. And I like XPI. So, especially with lack of regulations, there's a lot of these companies looking to get bought out as well in some of these indexes. So that could be something there for XBI. All right, so I hope some people are helping out Nimrod. I can see that there's some chat there about that as well. So yeah, so far XBI is what it is, and we'll go from there. So what else are we looking at, just real quickly? I mean, I wish NVIDIA was moving a little bit more. I was sitting now at 345. I don't think it's necessarily responsible to get involved. We've seen these things move dollars on these imbalances. So with this barcoding, this is where I get in trouble, because I'm like, let's go long there, and then it breaks and you lose 10 cents, and then it goes up and then you get mad and then you take the long and then it breaks and comes back. So right now the trend is definitely your friend, and it's not trending. So I'm going to stay away from some of these names. We can look at what AMD's doing, and we can look at some smaller names as well. I like DraftKings down there at 37. If there's something, my eyes are always going up because I'm looking for different alerts. All right, PayPal just came across as well. This is brought to you by eSignal. This is an alert right here. 5-minute chart right there at the 200 period. So also near VWAP. So there's an alert for PayPal. We also got one for Shopify. Again, this would be a good long for me, coming into support. I would think long on PayPal, but, with 4 minutes until imbalances, I think that's a little silly. Now let's just check out Shopify and see why that was triggering. Again, another Canadian name right on top of the heap there in Canada. Celestica is a good tech name in Canada as well, if you're looking for some exposure there. And there it is again. The VWAP scanner hits again right there. So, yeah, some good names to trade, but I'm not really into anything. And the market, look at the futures. We made a great play on the TQs earlier, right there when it floated into it didn't float, it floated up, but into that 200 period moving average on the 1 minute chart. Nice move into past days high, or level high. And then we took out the day's high. That was a nice trade, but what am I supposed to do? Like, you're not going to go long the futures right now. It has to either be at VWAP or at the 200 period moving average. So we'll sit on our hands. All right, what's up, Stevenson? Let's just go in here. You tagged, see a proper tag? Obi must not be in the chat, or maybe you are. Okay, so
just saw it.
That tags you. Okay, no, I just don't know if that tagged you. At Obi, that's pretty cool that your name is just Obi there in the chat. All right, can you guys touch on what it means for the SPY? Since we touched 10% down, yeah, that just, okay, just wouldn't mean, it means correction territory, not bear market. Yeah, no, the bear market never started, so that's 20%. So generally speaking, when you talk about a bear market, unless my definition's off, we could just use ChatGPT, but it is a 20% move would give you that bear market move. So that's what we talk about when we do talk about bear markets. So if that's what you're looking at, Stevenson, I would just say a move down in the SPY. I don't really look at it 20% down, 30% down, whatever the percentage points are down. I just kind of look at it as, where are we as far as the 200 period moving average? That is obviously a huge move down in the SPY, and we've already cracked through once it loads, we've already cracked through the 200 period right there. So for me, I would let it settle down a little bit. I've been buying this dip, it's been incorrect. So A 20% move would be 611. So you're looking for $120 off of 600, right? That's your 20% move. So 480. So you still, what? Oh, wait a second. Am I doing that math right? 60. So 120 off of 610. Yeah. So we have a ways to go before we're anywhere near that. In fact, we're just at that 10% now. So that's a good call right there. So yeah, I like to buy the dips. I don't think it's a horrible opportunity, especially if some of these tariffs get figured out, right? So yeah, thanks for hitting us up there, but you're not quite in bear territory yet. You know, we talked about it earlier. When you start getting your barber, significant other that maybe is never really concerned about the market, starting to ask you about the market, that might be when you can sense a bottom potentially.
Yeah. Information has, you know, dissipated enough at that time, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but
Video News says there. So I just paid about $350 or so a tire. It was a 9-tire day, so congratulations. I have no idea. Was it, you know, those micro machines? I mean, those tires aren't that expensive, but hopefully right there. Thank you so much for Video News for the $10. And a big congratulations to you as well. Look, man, whether or not you're up 1 tire, 2 tires, 5 tires, 9 tires, down a couple tires, at least as long as you're not down a huge amount today. Me and you talked about risk management and exactly how important that is, right? It is hard to share size on days like today because you never know the dramatic move that may or may not be right in front of you. Okay, Obi, I'll throw it back to you in just a second. I just want to get ready to go because we only have 15 seconds until the imbalances. So this will all update. Let's just do this. Let me call up NVIDIA here just so you guys can see the kind of movement that can happen when imbalances hit. All right, so we are now moments away from the imbalances. So here we go. 3, 2, and 1. NVIDIA's at 110.90. And there it goes. 110.40s we just saw. 110.50. This is why we stay away. So bang on telling everybody to stay away. NVIDIA right back down in again with that. There's a 3 million sell share imbalance. So that's good. That means that 3 million shares have to be paired off. It looked like it came out about 11 million. We've already paired that off immediately. Amazon with a little bit of a sell pressure as well. We're not, what's wrong with my Amazon quote there? Oh, I didn't log into the new system. I should probably do that. There's Amazon pulling back. Let's just have a quick look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA pulling back. This is probably a buy spot for NVIDIA, to be honest with you. Pulls right back into support and holds. So good on you. All right, forward Amazon XOM. We talked about possible strength earlier in the day. You actually talked about an XOM break earlier on in the day.
It never came.
Never came, yeah, exactly. I was going to say that to you. Down 2% there. SMCI, another trade that maybe traders are looking at. That came with a bid imbalance. Wow. Look at SMCI today, man. Puff, puff, pass. We slept on this one. That's a nice move there for SMCI. Up 12% today. Oh boy. That's actually back to $42, where it was before that earnings was 60.65. They dropped the earnings announcement, comes right into the 50-period moving average.
NVIDIA 3 million selling.
SMCI might be a decent opportunity there. All right, NVIDIA still feeling pain there. I believe this gets reversed. As it gets closer to 355, I'm going to go long NVIDIA. I'm going long NVIDIA around 354.30. Let's hope it works out.
All right. No, I'm kind of watching it as well. I was like, I held on to a piece here, watching that NVIDIA as well, and coming out with a strong sell imbalance there. And then, yeah, Intel doesn't really do much. So, I mean, it kind of drops. It was reserving 1990s here multiple times over. You can see since we broke through it, actually. Where is this candle right here? So about since 320. So for the greater part of the last hour here, we were holding that 90 as a bit of a reserve level there, and yeah, we kind of broke through that. And seeing that, I did post a little bit there on top of the at that reserve, being like, all right, well, if I post on a gate, which is more likely to get filled last, then I will have some confirmation that this might take a little bit lower here on Intel going into the end of the day here. But yeah, there's some strong sell imbalances there. Wow, did NVIDIA actually grow? It went to 3.3
and look at it, man. It's
million here.
Lows.
Oh boy. All right, so maybe we will trade NVIDIA into the close here. 110's coming in here on NVIDIA. VWAP's all the way at 109, guys. So let's see if this sell, again, this sell imbalance could very well pair as well. The pairing event happening at 55. So going to be patient, going to watch that one there. But yeah, some strong selling there. 3.5 million, that is shares of NVIDIA. to be paired off just yet. I think 8.3 have already been kind of paired off, and 3.5, 3.6 a little bit to the sell side. Sometimes though, we come out with a strong sell imbalance and then we bid up. So that's I still got to work this one out. How do I really trade this Nasdaq imbalance? But it always reminds me that one time on Apple we had that 30 million. Was it a buy imbalance or a sell imbalance? I forget what it was. I think it was a buy.
We did.
I got to remember when that imbalance was, but that was crazy. That was some outlier stuff, and it just shot in the direction of the imbalances.
Was it on a was it on a rebalance day?
Don't think.
Must have been something happening.
Something
there,
happening. Sure. It was just an outlier move. I gotta ask. Well, I don't know if ChatGPT would know what day Apple had a crazy imbalance, but I think I remember the date.
One way to find out.
There, and I just got to go back and check there. We did talk about it in the trading pod, so I just got to check some old messages there. But that was the one there. But yeah, let's see. NVIDIA still kind of trading at that 110 level. Let me pull up the tape for you guys here as well to see 110's just holding as of right now. 1990's holding on Intel as well. And this is what I said.
It just grew.
Remember I was like 19.5 on the NASDAQ? Maybe I should just trade the futures. Because I'm like, if that's equilibrium and I expect price to revert to there more often than not, and I can position myself and execute for that effectively, then I'm taking off 19 halves, long, short, doesn't matter. I just want that price.
I see I'm sort of starting to like morph over there with those ideas. I've been trying to. I always say on the show that I'm like the only one looking at futures. I think Neil doesn't prefer them, which is fine. You don't have to trade futures. They are pretty tough, but I like them because I almost do the exact same strategies, except for I just apply them to the futures, right? I mean, I don't know. All right, 109.79. I'm into NVIDIA long. We only have 5 seconds there. Okay, well. Maybe out of NVIDIA right now, and there it goes. So it does not flip over. It stays the same. So we just took a 20-cent hit there on NVIDIA, very, very small. We were just playing for fun. If it were to go back up to the upside, I said NVIDIA would flip. But the problem is, as you identified earlier, it grew. It actually went the other way.
Yeah.
So it grew bigger. Normally you do see that flip. So right now, NVIDIA has a little bit of explaining to do to the downside. I mean, if that gets into a bid, then fine. What this is telling us is that there's going to be 1.4 million shares to sell at the close. And if there's not enough liquidity, like right now on the level 2, right? Each one of these represents 100 shares. So there's definitely, Obi, not enough liquidity to support that. So, yeah, this could flush into the close. And this is why I was saying before, very, very risky business, man, to be trading the NASDAQ-related names into the close because, like, out of nowhere, obviously the futures also fell down, which probably has something to do with this. It's just, there it goes. Like, if you... Yeah, 50s, wow. So, again, just showing you sort of the ability to get in and out of that real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick.
Tesla's dropping as well.
Is it Tesla? Okay, let's go back over to Tesla.
A lot of things are tanking, but yeah, that NVIDIA, NVIDIA gave you 50 pennies off that 110 hold break. Absolutely beautiful there.
I almost feel like we were right there when we talked about, trying to play some of that rhetoric there into the close, right? I mean, Tesla, like shorting all afternoon. I don't know. I mean, if you started shorting, you probably would be fine. I mean, the market, Tesla's a different beast altogether, but the TQQs, I believe, is probably underneath right now. Yeah. So the short, forget about it, man. I was talking about like people holding out hope that maybe tomorrow's CPI would be a little cooler. Yeah, they're still selling, man. The market is still selling. So if you went the other way around and went oppo with me, you're back in right now. The market has faded out. So if you just averaged into the short all afternoon, you're right. And part of that is NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA down to 109.50 now after we just cleaned out at 112. So pretty good for us there today. Thank you for joining us here. We do have the market recap show with Sharif and Dara coming out here as I'm going to go get, I guess, a filling. Promised is supposed to be no needle. So I'm going to hold the dentist to that. Yeah. Oh, it's a funny thing. My dentist over there, actually young guy, he talks to me about meme coins.
Oh, no.
So he knows.
When did he start doing this?
Yeah, exactly. He knows
I'm curious.
Yeah, probably a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
He's into it.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not just like throwing stuff to the wind. He's actually pretty aggressive with it, and he talks to me about it. He knows. He says, "Oh, did you see Trump coin and this and that?" He talks about that. But
Nice.
yeah, so just a funny story there about what we've been talking about. All right, so Nvidia is still bleeding here into the close, as is the market. Join us tomorrow. We'll probably go on air probably about 8:29, a little bit earlier before CPI, so that we can have that read and have it for you live. So we'll definitely be on air a little bit earlier there tomorrow. So join us at 8:30, a little bit prior to that, and we'll be live for that CPI print. I'll be trading the futures throughout there. Obi will join us one more day into Wednesday. Then he's heading off to Miami. Have a great weekend there for sure. And then Joe and I will hold the fort down for Thursday, Friday before the man, the myth, the legend himself, Neil, will be back in the booth on Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check. Is he? You're not.
I haven't been told that.
Okay, so yeah, he's probably back here on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes he comes back Sunday, takes Monday off. So we'll double check it. But anyways,
If that's the case, I'll see you
if
guys.
that's the case, that's the case. Yes. So anyways, all right. Thank you guys again for watching. It's been a hell of a show with only 1 minute left. Obi, you covered your intel.
I got out of it because I was like, I was posted at 1925. I see you, Sebastian. Sebastian's telling me to be like, look at Hood at a buy wall at 36.5. So I'll take a look at that one there as well. But yeah, no, I just punched out because I was like, all right, well, the book's getting a little thick on both sides. I don't know if it's going to drop down to 75.
Quickly before I go, I did confirm a long time ago, the campus program is completely free.
Boom.
So I was talking about other prop firms charging you a couple $100 just for them to put you in training mode and say, go for it. Absolutely free, completely free, real trading. Make sure you do scan that to get our watch list. Fabian, what's going on,
I think it's a great opportunity to,
seconds.
Put in some reps, learn
about.
about trading, learn how to make some moves in the market. Definitely a great opportunity there.
All right. Again, thanks again for all the trading here. Oh, we don't want to miss the countdown.
108s. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, there it goes.
3 million
Look at
inbound.
NVIDIA
Holy.
absolutely falling down huge
Boom.
right now. It actually just flipped over to a buy. We now have 10 seconds. What's up? There he is. Fabian there. He's looking at that NVIDIA imbalance as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is it.
And what did it print?
What did it print? You tell me.
No, it's moving way too fast. I gotta go here.
NVIDIA.
76s, I think.
Okay, yeah. Oh, there. Oh, I just saw it.
76s.
Yeah. So good little call there.
110s to 108.76s. All right.
Look at that, man. 112 actually just about 30 minutes ago for NVIDIA. Finishes the day down at 108.50. So absolutely destructed there.
Beautiful.
At the end of the day. So yeah, there it goes, man. I guess the positioning might be short. The NASDAQ, who's over there? The NASDAQ actually finishes down on the day, man. We were up 1+%, Obi, right there, only to have the typical finish to the day. All right, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us again here, Obi. Great trading day. As we go, we'll keep talking about that. We'll be joining you guys tomorrow as well. But for now, it is Sharif, and I believe Brian Shannon's coming through as well, so that should be a great guest. It's Sharif and Adara, and it's your market recap show. See everyone tomorrow.
See ya.
Market recap show. What a day it has been on these markets today. Adara, unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a recovery. Let's call a spade a spade. We're down, technically still on the NQ, down about a fifth of a point, but it was a lot better than what we had yesterday. We sold off aggressively, though, Adara, to end the day. So we couldn't hold that 20,000 point area, nor could we hold 19,500. We're actually at 19,400 right now. So yet another area gives way there. The only one of the four major indices that's actually positive on the day is the Russell 2000. Closed up marginally higher, 0.12. The Dow got smacked today, about 1% negative, likely as a result of Apple, a big Dow component there, decidedly right on the day, but holding 220. The ES managed to kind of hold above that 50 area, but giving up another 100-point area, Adara, 5,600 with the NQ, as we mentioned, down a quarter point, but not a bad day. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and the SPYs casually at least 1 point flirted with, dabbled in correction territory. They're down 10%. Though Donald Trump says that in terms of the market sell-off, nope, not worrying about it. So to quote him, so yeah, it looks like that's not a huge concern for the administration. Those comments are basically echoed by Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt as well. So it looks like this is not a concern for the administration with the markets because they think long-term there will be some strength coming back. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think interesting regardless. Earnings super light. just Stitch Fix.
All right, let's talk about the major names that we've got today. Some of the headlines that we had. We had Tesla in focus after dropping double digits yesterday, about 15%, finding its footing again today, but by no means retracing some of the losses we had yesterday. So Tesla closes up about 3 4/5. There wasn't a whole lot in terms of headlines today for Tesla. We heard some rumblings midday. You know, Donald Trump's going to buy a Tesla, and Carolyn Levitt ended her White House press conference there, saying, look out for Donald Trump. You know, he could be pulling up in a Tesla sooner rather than later. We had a little bit of a joke here on the floor about which one of the models he'd pull up in. I still got my money on the Juniper. We'll have to wait and see how that all works out. Oracle also reported today, a tough report for them, down 3%, but off the lows. They definitely defended that 140 area on ORCL, missing basically on the top and bottom line in terms of the current quarter with respect to the future quarter. Oracle also guiding a little bit light there. Bitcoin recovering nicely today, but like by no means up into that $90,000 range. IBIT up 5%. Likewise with the coin itself, trading above 83,000 for the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that. Apple, the big loser in Mag 7 world today. Likely the reason the Dow is down 1%. Apple giving back quite a bit, giving away that 230 level. You know, we were at 255 not that long ago.
That's crazy.
Sorry, 250 not that long ago. So a bit of a drop down today. And there was really no bad catalyst today for Apple. In fact, we heard about iOS 19, supposedly the biggest change that they've had since 2013. So we'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. That is expected in WWDC coming up in June. K-Web, or Chinese ADRs at large, having a nice little rally recently. K-Web finishing up 2.25%, but there were many very strong names, specifically the EV sector in the Chinese ADR world, with XPEV, NIO, Zeekr, and Li Auto all closing in either double-digit or high single-digit territory. So fantastic look for the Chinese EVs and for the overall ADRs at large. Today, we got more word that stimulus was coming in, targeted stimulus, not specifically with respect to companies, but more with respect to consumer. They are looking at stimulating consumption. The first time they've done that in a decade. Delta also reported today. Very, very bad look for Delta as they basically cut guidance and say, you know, they're having very weak demand for domestic travel, but it looks as if, you know, some of the first class and international travel could be picking up the tab there. It didn't matter. The market still, they're down. They closed down 7.25. The exact opposite story here for Love. Southwest Airlines basically announcing today that for the first time in their history, they will be charging for checked luggage. And that was basically as a result of a lot of pressure from Elliott Management, who had secured 5 board seats on their board, and they got their way today. But the market definitely did like that, up 8.33%. So good look here for Southwest. We also had Palantir and Hood in focus as a result of Cathie Wood buying up a Storm or selling yesterday. What do you got, Adara?
I do have Stitch Fix earnings out. I just wanted to put that out here. So Stitch Fix here, SFIX, reporting net revenue at $312 million. Apparently that's down 5% year over year. I'm going to compare here what I have in my notes. So I was seeing estimates of 295 million. So it looks like we did beat, but like I said, I always like to be careful because sometimes the estimates I have aren't the same ones the market's going with. They said their active clients dropped by 2.6% year over year. Okay, so the numbers was a beat there for sales. 312.1 mil versus 298.04 mil. GAAP losses of 5 cents per share, better than the expected loss of 11 cents per share.
Yeah, fantastic. EPS there, 5 cents negative. The street was looking for negative 11, so good. They were able to shore up costs. Up big here, Adara, 22.5%, but we are also looking right now at the algo spike, so there will be a lot of volatility. But there are local highs here to look at for Stitch Fix. Looks like we topped out there at 550, 560 back in mid-February. Good night, Katina, man. And then KSS, I also want to mention this. Kohl's reported as well, and that is not a mistake there on your chart. That is down and to the right. It is down almost 24% on the day. Very bad report today for Kohl's, and the market making them pay aggressively here, back losing $10. In fact, it lost $9 at one point with an $8.75 low. Those are the headlines that we started out with today. today, as well as Meta. Meta was really, I don't want to say a nothing burger, but they did announce that they are going to get involved in the creation or the design of their own silicon AI-specific chips that will be manufactured by Taiwan Semi, looking to lessen their reliance on NVIDIA chips. So a decent day for Meta. It was able to reclaim that $600 area at 605.70 with a 614.93 high. But wowzers, yeah, that is not a mistake on your chart, guys. 740 we were trading at on Valentine's Day with the low there, Adara 585 low yesterday, lost 20%. So well into correction territory for Meta.
Yeah, Meta is, that's not a great look at all there. I guess they weren't having a lot of love for Meta after Valentine's Day. All that love kind of ran out. But I have a couple things I want to say. So for one, I'm just seeing comments now come through from Donald Trump's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, saying that there will be no 50% steel and aluminum tariffs on Canada. So we've had quite the whirlwind going from getting these today to now not getting them in the same day. Also, Donald Trump just posted 2 minutes ago on Truth Social a video of himself and Elon with Beba X, and they're looking at Teslas together. He's just basically saying that Elon has been treated unfairly. So yeah, I'm just looking through on, I only exclusively got Truth Social just to look at Trump's post. But yeah, I'm trying to search through here to see if Trump still has his post up about these steel tariffs, because I'm pretty curious here, Sharif. But yeah, that's the main news I just wanted to share. Also, Stitch Fix stronger than expected guidance for Q3 revenue.
And continuing to go.
Yeah. 311 to 316 million they're seeing versus estimates of 278. So that is like a crazy beat there for guidance.
Not bad at all. Good look for Stitch Fix. So just to give you some context at what was going on there with the Ontario Premier, who threatened a 25% surcharge on all energy leaving the province of Ontario and going to 3 specific states. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is New York, Michigan, and Ohio. Could be wrong on that last one, Ohio, but certainly New York and Michigan. So essentially, it was going to be 25% more for American customers to buy Canadian energy. And that had Donald Trump respond today quite aggressively by saying there's going to be an additional 25% tariffs on imported aluminum from Canada. It wasn't specific to Ontario. And so that got the two gentlemen there, the two leaders who have now struck a deal. I think Donald Trump was also quite gregarious about what he said about Doug Ford, saying he actually liked him. So which is interesting there, because I didn't expect, someone who's challenging Donald Trump on tariffs to get such a nice little compliment there. So
yeah, I was pretty shocked too.
Yeah, kind of excited about that. All right, guys, so that is the look right now. We're going to have Brian Shannon in about 5 minutes. As we mentioned, Stitch Fix, really the only earnings report that we've got on tap with that 530 high. Adara gave you guys all the details there with respect to the earnings report. So they're looking at full year revenue of 1.22 billion to 1.24 billion, beating the estimates there. Q3 revenue, though, they're looking at basically 311 million to 360 million. Not a bad look. We already mentioned full year 2025 revenue. Let's go down and see what else they gave us there in terms of data. So yeah, they beat handily on EPS, as Adara mentioned, 5 penny loss. Their suit was looking for an 11 penny loss. So a handy beat there as they were able to shore up costs. Yeah, Bitcoin, as we mentioned, guys, trading back above 83,000. It was able to reclaim that $80,000 level after dropping. What did it drop to yesterday? 73?
I think the low for Bitcoin, I think 76 halves. 76 halves.
Yeah, so basically up about nicely there, about 5,000. I can see that 78 and change on that day, 76.7 yesterday. So a bit of a move down. We still have a decided downtrend though on Bitcoin, guys. Ever since it lost that $90,000 level, continuing to make lower lows and lower highs, with yesterday's low a bit lower than the low that we put in on February 27th. So a bit of a tougher look there. Anything you want to add, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, just in general here, I put this in the chat, but just so you guys know, we have more comments coming from Trump trade advisor Peter Navarro saying that, yeah, again, in case you missed it earlier, he did confirm that there will be no 50% aluminum or steel tariffs on Canada tomorrow. Donald Trump earlier said, maybe we'll have them. We'll see. Now it looks like they're not having them at all. And just to clarify, Trump initially hinted at these aluminum and steel tariffs in a Truth Social post that came out 5 hours ago. So in 5 hours, we go from aluminum and steel tariffs to apparently none. But again, we haven't heard this from Trump himself. We've only heard it from his trade advisor, though, again, it is worth noting he earlier, like an hour ago, kind of hinted he wasn't super considering these tariffs anymore. Anyway, Peter Navarro also saying, though, that we're not going to be really getting any more tariffs until we get reciprocity on April 2nd, which is when we'll get the reciprocal tariffs. So it sounds like for now, for now, we will have no more tariff announcements until April 2nd, though again, we're gonna have to wait and see on that one. It's pretty funny too, Sharif. Like I was saying, it's kind of funny it's April 2nd, not April 1st. And Ramin had said at the time, it's probably because he doesn't want to do it in April Fools, since Donald Trump has confirmed that is the case. So Ramin called it, and I have to show that out there. Thank you, Ramin.
Fantastic look there. Let's talk about SMCI. What a fantastic day SMCI had today. Well, I believe over 11%. Good look for SMCI. Looks like there is a headline here. They were partnering with Eviden to expand distribution of AI superclusters. So Eviden, which is a unit of information technology firm, Atos Group collaborates with SMCI to distribute the company's AI supercluster with NVIDIA's new GPUs, the GB200, which is where they pair the two B200s. The GB200 comes in clusters of 2 for broader infrastructure services. So not a bad look. The market certainly liking that. Decidedly in the green. As we mentioned, a lot of strength in Chinese ADR world. Leading the pack here is XPeng. They're apparently going to be going into the robotics industry. So not only are they in FSD or like looking to basically mimic full self-drive technology with their own, but yeah, they're doing quite well over here. And I was looking at this chart on the daily here for XPeng, and I remember a buddy of mine, Alfred, basically picking up this monster back in during the pandemic days, and it was decidedly higher where it is right now, about $32 or so. So let me flip to the monthly chart over here. We can have a look at where XPeng was back in July of, or yeah, right around that $37 area back then. So we're certainly breaking out from the highs that we put in July of 2023. So XPeng at multi-year highs with today's close above that $26 areas. We have not been above this area since July 1st of 2022, so we're going on 2.5 years. Fantastic look for XPeng. Not to be outdone is NEO, even though market definitely not liking this one as much in terms of market cap and basically where they are near highs. It did have a better percentage on the day, percentage move on the day than XPeng did, up 17.5%. So good look for NEO there as it finds some support here at that $4 area, was able to close above 5. ZK, Zeekr as well, having a fantastic day, up big 18.22%. And this is an all-time high for ZK. For Zeekr Auto, we've never been this high. This only got into the market back in May of 2024, and we opened up at the time at around $30 and basically went straight south. Now, with this $32 close, this is an all-time high for Zeekr Auto here. Not a bad look. Last but not least, Adara, Li Auto, the last of the Chinese EVs, having basically the lightest day of the 4, 7.15%, and well off the $33 area that we put in not that long ago towards the end of February.
It's interesting. I'm working on an infographic right now on these Chinese ADRs and how they've been performing, and I'm going to actually pull it up. I haven't posted it yet, but stay tuned probably tomorrow. As of yesterday's close, Sharif, as you mentioned, XPeng extremely strong. It's up almost 100% on the year, and that was as of yesterday's close. But then you've got names like NEO, which is up only 2%, and Zeekr is actually down on the year. So it's really interesting just the diverging performances of these Chinese ADRs. One thing that you were just kind of reminded me of too accidentally when you were talking about Zeekr Reddit, an IPO that's now about a year old, Sharif. I still remember we were screaming about this one on the midday. And so this one is down 50% from its highs, but it rallied today. And this is the 15-minute chart on Reddit, so you can kind of see what I mean. Really interesting one here, up 10% on the day after pushing back. Apparently, analysts were saying it's oversold. Yeah, high of this one, all-time high, I believe above that 200 level. So it looks like around just around 230. Currently, though, around 122, and it looks like it bounced off that $100 level like a glove. So RDDT could be potentially a name to watch for tomorrow, I guess, just given that strength today, because I realized we didn't really mention it much today. No.
And another industry that was quite strong, a sector, I should say, that was quite strong, cybersecurity. Big move up today for CrowdStrike, Adara. Crowd up 6 3/4, well off those highs, though, that we put in not that long ago. Back February 19th, guys, we were at that 455 high. And quick as you like, we are now down to 305 on CrowdStrike. What a volatile name. I say this all the time on the midday. If you're going to be involved in these cybersecurity names, they are high beta, and you have to be able to basically deal with that. That is a big move down for Crowd. Pandub also catching a bit of a bid. We also saw Net, Cloudflare as well, up nicely there, as well as Zscaler and Fortinet, both up 2.5%. So not a bad look today for cybersecurity names. There was a specific catalyst today for CrowdStrike, right?
It was actually for Snowflake, but I think it was a catalyst for the space anyway, because I mentioned it when you were talking about these, because this catalyst, it moved Snowflake a little bit. It was a couple hours earlier. Then you had mentioned the strength in cybersecurity. So basically what happened was, according to the information, Google and Anthropic are talking about some AI data security deals with Snowflake and Databricks. Snowflake specifically apparently is in talks with Google to have its own Gemini models available securely for customers to build AI applications. So some very specific AI and security related deals on watch for SNOW. But you're right, like CrowdStrike I think had a better, more sustained move than Snowflake anyway. So interesting stuff.
No doubt about it. And another name you just mentioned, Reddit, 15%.
Yep.
What a move up. Defending that $100 area. We didn't quite get there on Reddit, but I believe back on the 10th, which was yesterday, we did dip down into that 102 area on Reddit. Nice move back up, Adair. Wow, what a move up. This is a high beta name as well. Back up into that 123.48, basically closing out at the highs, guys. 123.49 was the high. We're at 48 right now. So Reddit, fantastic look down. But when you look at Reddit prior to that earnings report and how far we trace back down, 55% off the highs that we put in. Yes, not that long ago. February 10th, that is literally a month ago. It's lost 50% of its value in a month. That is kind of tough to stomach, especially the run up. Yeah, I mean, kind of a tough look there for Reddit. So we'll keep an eye on that one, see if it's able to recover. Reddit's been kind of an AI story. They don't deal specifically with AI, but they have a plethora of information that these large language models would love to salivate, basically, to train their models on. We're talking about pre-training. It gives them a lot of organic raw data before the filters are added on. And, you know, it's kind of made available to the public. So Reddit, a good day today, 15% really bucking the trend today on that front, Adair.
Yeah, we have some SMCI news that just came out. I'm just seeing this right now populate on Benzinga. So Supermicro unveiling new Intel Xeon 6-powered servers for enhanced AI with 40% more memory, 144 CPU cores. So shout out to Obi, who I know has been trading some Intel. Looks like we could be saying some more oh boy tomorrow, because Supermicro here with this Intel Xeon-powered servers. Also, just wanted to kind of show this graphic. I debuted this earlier today, but this is as of yesterday's close, mind you. Sharif, less than half of the NASDAQ is green on the year.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. Palantir, which was up an insane amount earlier this year, now only up like less than 1%. As of yesterday's close, Meta, same, only up about 1%. But yeah, Gilead, Amgen, Vertex, PDD, of course, T-Mobile, all really running the pack here when it comes to these names that are up on the year. And a lot of these names in that, I guess, snacky consumer space are doing really well. Mondelez, Starbucks. We have DoorDash, which I would kind of put in that category. Monster Energy, I'll give myself some credit for that. And also stuff like Pepsi. So it's a pretty interesting look. There's not a lot of tech names on here other than Micron, but again, that's as of yesterday's close. Also, Groupon just coming out here with earnings. Way larger than expected loss per share, $1.20 loss per share here versus 4 cents expected. And then sales coming through at 130.4 million. Fun ways to say numbers, versus 127 million expected. So slightly higher there on revenue, missing on EPS for Groupon, which I did not put in our earnings calendar because I did not have a specific time that it was reporting, but look at that.
Another sector that was quite strong today, Darren, I didn't actually see the headline on this, but uranium, all decidedly green, whether you're looking at Cameo, Corp, CCJ, shout out to Canada, up nicely 2.33%, but when you look at the downtrend, obviously it's been selling off, as well UEC, Triple U, URG, URA, UROI, all these are uranium-related names, as well as SMR, obviously, with their nuclear focus on energy, NuScale Power, that is, up 10.5%, reclaiming that $16 area. Uranium decidedly in the green today, so good look. We've been talking a lot about this. We've been seeing the nat gas trade unfold this year, kind of like a secondary play for AI energy. It was really nuclear running up prior to that, so good look there. We also had weakness and a bit of a distributed trade today on energy. We had the barrel, the oil, the futures contract up 0.8, but when you look at some of the equity names foreshadowing that oil barrel, down 2.2% is XOM, CVX also down 2 1/5, Occidental Petroleum also down 2 1/5. But you had companies like Devon Energy, for whatever reason, ended up closing up 0.5 percentage point there. So We'll keep an eye on the barrel, the oil barrel, that is, as it continues to defend that $66, $65.5 area. This is the 4-hour look here on oil. And we were talking about this, Brendo and I, a few days ago on the morning show. Back last year when oil was trading more towards that mid 60s, high 60s, low 70s area, we kept seeing the Biden administration look to replenish the strategic oil reserve every time it dipped into that level. We're not saying that Donald Trump's going to do the same thing. I have no idea what he's thinking, but the price action right now is speaking that the same is being followed every time we dip in to 66.5, 65.5, even low 67s. We're seeing a bit of a bump up there with oil up 0.83% on the day. So not a bad look there, Adair.
Yeah, I think, sir, I'm trying to look here for any news on uranium. There's always some kind of catalyst or another on uranium. Apparently, though, this might be of interest. The UN Security Council is going to be meeting here over Iran's near bomb-grade uranium. I have no idea if that's what's moved it, but worth noting that's just one catalyst I saw from earlier today. I find usually these uranium catalysts are pretty specific. Also, guys, Brian Shannon is on his way. There's some technical issues that we're having, so we hope to have him on very soon. Thank you very much to Brian Shannon of Alpha Trends for coming on with us tonight. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see what names people are looking at here in this chat. Bitcoin 99 or 89,000 tonight, says Tash. We'll have to wait and see here. Let's see where Bitcoin closed. Yeah, right now here around that 83,000 level. I will say MSTR and a lot of these crypto-related tickers were really strong. So that's a pretty interesting look. We're going to have to wait and see what happens there. I'm just going to have to sign back into the Zoom, Sharif.
No worries. Netflix as well. Another good name today. I know you were involved in that. Maybe you can tell us about your trade in a little bit. But yeah, good move up. It tried to take 900, ended up closing a little bit below 900. It looks like we're at 895.07, but we still did move up 3.25%. The high of the day on NFLX, about 910. But you can kind of see this 950, 960 bottom that we were defending for a period of day, basically from February 25th onwards. So we had that flat bottom break March 6th. Though if we do move up, definitely look for some resistance around that 960, 950 area. And it's an area that we also had trouble with initially before the earnings report came out January 21st, subsequent to the earnings report coming out January 21st. We certainly defended that 950, 960 area as an area of support before making all-time highs into that $1,065 area. Down we go, though, below 1,000, below 900. So NFLX will be certainly on watch, bucking the trend today. Tesla was another one of those names that we mentioned to start the day. It's been a very, very bad time for Tesla as of late. Over $800 billion as of yesterday, I don't know about today, wiped out from Tesla, basically subsequent to the election.
Yeah, I think some people are probably E short instead of E long in that one right now. Possibly, though, it was up on the day. Also at Netflix, I think what was pretty cool is I put an AVWAP on this one. Shout out to Brian Shannon. From that drop we had on Thursday, March 6th, we actually closed above that AVWAP today, just barely. So that could be a level of support right now around that 895. I've talked about this in the past. I think I really like to see a spready ticker respect $100 level. Netflix is not respecting 900, but it really likes 895, Sharif. So we'll have to see how we respect that tomorrow.
All right. It looks like we got Brian Shannon ready to go. So whenever we're ready, just let me know, and we'll bring him in. Lots of questions for Brian today. So we'll guess we'll wait for that. So let's talk about what else is going on here. Uber down another 3.25% today after basically taking that $80. He's ready? Okay. All right. Let's talk to Brian. Hey, Brian, how are you? Good to have you on the Market Recap Show again.
Hey, good. Thanks for having me here. Sorry for the late arrival. I was having some tech issues. Kind of seems to be a theme for me.
Not a problem. It's okay. It happens. It's live TV, so no worries. So I had a question for you today. So I read an interesting piece over the weekend about the Trump 2.0 trade. Now we were all really well aware of what Trump 1.0 was. He was fixated about the market. He kind of looked at the stock market as validation for his presidency. A lot of people saying that might not happen this time around. In fact, it might be the bond market that he's quite interested in. The reason is he wants to bring down the debt payments on some of these treasuries that have been issued to no end through the last 4 years to basically finance the U.S. government. If that's the case, Brian, do we have a funneling of money from the stock market into the bond market? And if we do that, do we kind of stagnate a little bit? Maybe we don't sell off and break 2024 lows. But what's your look on that? Do you kind of buy that premise? And if you do, How do you trade it?
Yeah, good question. I mean, you know, a lot of people would claim that those are his insecurities. Looking at the stock market as constant validation of his approval. And since it's not working, he's kind of abandoning that. And, you know, if he's looking at the bond market, I just saw that, you know, our neighbors in the north are threatening selling some of their bonds, or they filed to. So he's just created a mess of everything, I think. The bonds just came up to the 200-day moving average and got rejected. They're right now back down to the anchor from the election. So, you know, we're in critical territory for the TLT is what I'm looking at here. And that's this right here, the 200-day moving average. And orange is not only that anchor from the election, but the 20-day moving average. So we're kind of in no man's land, but if it's going to turn bullish, you might look at this as a shoulder ahead, and maybe we're forming a shoulder that could break out if, you know, somehow, you know, all the foreign entities don't sell their bonds and, you know, try to punish the U.S. in that way. So it's really tough. It's case by case. It's stock by stock. And, you know, my main rule is if we're below those declining 5-day moving averages, then it's just guilty till proven innocent. And that's what we're looking at here on, you know, the SPY, the Qs, the Russell, the SMH. They're all below that declining 5-day moving average. So I'm not ready to buy for anything more than a day trade in here yet.
All right, another quick question for you. When we have aggressive declines like this in the NASDAQ in correction territory, some of these other Mag 7 names all well over 10% off their highs, what's the move here specifically to kind of gauge whether or not it's going to be a more prolonged sell-off or whether we find areas of technical support? I know that, you know, we can identify areas of support for each individual name, but is there a specific indicator or a setup that you're looking for to say, no, there's probably more downside?
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the weekly charts and I'm not liking what I'm seeing there. When we look at, you know, what has been the leader of this market has been the semiconductors over the last several years on all the legs higher. And it's looking very similar to it did in the first quarter of 2022, that we're breaking key support. We're below the 100-day moving average, the 150, the 200-day moving average, and we've made lower lows and a lower high below those. So I'm looking at rallies as right now we should, you know, see some nice bounces. Maybe we'll get a 10% bounce in the semiconductors, but I'm still highly suspicious. We'll trade those rallies, but I think it's going to end up being possibly a longer term problem for this market.
Hi, Brian. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being here with us today. With regards to crypto here, I know you posted that dip buyers were in trouble in BTC as of Sunday. Do you have any levels on Bitcoin right now or any other crypto names?
Yeah, if I can stop this share and share the other screen real quick. I know we're running low on time, but here's our chart of Bitcoin. Hopefully you can see that. Yes?
Yes.
Did I share it? Oh, good. Great. Okay. So on the daily time frame, we undercut the low that we saw at the beginning of the month, and then we started to see a turn. That's right at the anchor from the August of 2024 low. Now where we are on the 4-hour chart, you know, I tweeted this today that if you bought for a bounce, be aware that this anchor right here, that's when we had the news release for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And since that, you know, since we just it sold off from there, now we're right up against it. And this is a level where we've seen prior support, which also has the potential to become resistance. So, you know, I'm warning people that if you bought for a bounce, just be really tight with at least part of your position. If it can build a higher low, then it, you know, had the next level of interest on the upside is the anchor off of the prior low. That's that green level on the daily and on this 4-hour chart. But I'm a little suspicious. We're below all the key moving averages, below all the key anchors, and I think it's likely that this might give back the whole Trump rally here from the date of the election.
All right, Brian, thanks for coming on, and hopefully it is a more positive day in the next few days for some of these markets. Obviously, it was tough for some of us yesterday who hold long-term accounts, but hey, that's what we're day trading for. Volatility equals opportunity. Thank you for being on.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, everybody.
All right, guys, that's it for us today. Adara and I obviously will be back on tomorrow, so we'll see everybody bright and early at 8:30. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Woo.